Hello and welcome to episode 22 of the Player 3 podcast. I'm your host, Luke Croft. Alongside me, we have the always visually stunning Larry Hunt.
Hello.
And over here on my other side, he can fix you a nice, delicious glass of Pepsi and steal your daughter's heart. Ladies and gentlemen, Doug Martin.
I'm never gonna dance again.
Is that just going to be
every week? If I could listen to George Michael every day,
Sergio.
I probably wouldn't, but
I
do.
would.
I do.
I listen to George Michael's a good part of the day if I had to listen to him every day.
I learned this week that he was a part of Wham. I didn't know that.
He was my favorite Arrested Development character.
Exactly.
And I watched a video of
Wait, he was
Wake
Arrested
me
Development?
up before you go, go.
The main character's name.
And
is
I'm
George
like,
Michael.
Okay. I didn't watch enough of it to know.
but I watched the video to Wake Me Up Before You Go, and I'm
Yeah.
like, how did no one know that he was gay back then? It was abundantly clear.
I could listen to that. I could listen to Wham all day too. Come to think of it.
Mm-hmm.
I literally
Welcome to
didn't
Wham
know-
3 podcast.
That's right.
I literally didn't know who Wham was until you said something about it yesterday.
And over here we have Benjamin D. Hankins. The D stands for Don't Break the NDA for Ori and the Blind Forest. All of you. All right.
Don't do it.
Don't break it.
Even though it's part of my name, don't do it.
NDA.
That's
What's
right.
that stand for?
Non-disclosure agreement. It doesn't lift till 11:01 this evening. So
I like the word embargo better.
yeah, don't break the embargo. Here we go.
Embargo.
We are the Player 3 podcast. We get together every Monday to talk about the thing
George
that we
Michael.
love the most, George Michaels. And then the second thing, that scared the crap out of
Me
me. My
too.
wife
Me
just peeked
too.
through the door.
Hey, why? It's a ghost!
And then we also talk about our second favorite thing, and that is video games. And you can find us on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, on YouTube. Just search Player 3 Podcast. But we also live stream every week at 4 o'clock Eastern Time on twitch.tv/Player 3 Podcast. So come on, join the party. We love all of our viewers. You can interact with us, ask us questions there. But we're going to get this show started like we get every show started. Over. Just kidding. We're going to get it started with...
We haven't done that in a while, actually.
I actually
Yeah.
made that joke.
Yeah.
That was one joke that I actually did make on the podcast.
It wasn't from The Office, and
It
we
wasn't
laughed
from The
at it.
Office,
It was
and
great.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
The live stream prevents us from starting over every week. When
Yeah,
we
that's
screw
very
up.
true.
We just have to roll with our mistakes.
Yeah,
and
I'm
they
cool
are
with that.
abundant.
We're a conversational podcast. But we're going to get started with the releases of the week.
Releases of the week. Clap, clap.
Your songs are awful.
Okay, so you
It
went
went
from
from
a
a
disgruntled grunt.
groan
Yeah.
to just... I wish all of you died in a fiery car accident. But releasing on both consoles this week, finally, heists for GTA 5. We don't normally talk about
Very exciting.
like content rolling in, like post-release content that rolls in, but I feel like this is worth mentioning because we're now like a year and a half, 2 years out from the 360 release of
Not,
GTA. A year
definitely
and a
not
half.
2 years, but like
Nah,
a
more
little
than that.
little over a year. No.
I think it released
More than
in
a year and a half. It's got to be because I bought it when it first came out.
Yeah, but it didn't release until after we had gotten rid of our PlayStation 3. So I think it was like September of 2013. So about a year and a half. So anyway, finally getting Heist this week. Everybody
believe it.
that has got got their hands on it has been pumped about it. Ben, you're still into GTA.
Yes, I'm very excited about it. I'm the only one that's hung in there. Hopefully Seth will join the party.
It's going to release with, I think, 5 different heists that take about 3 hours to play. I think, or maybe it's 6. But basically how it works is you'll have like setup missions, and then you'll have the big grand finale mission that gets your payout. And you're going to have somebody who is able to front quite a bit of money. I saw an example today of a heist that cost like $54,000 to start, but the payout for it's $540,000. But the cool thing about it is the person who fronts the money for it, the leader of the heist, gets to determine how the money gets divvied out when the payout happens in the end. So you have to be really nice to the person who's paying out and pull your weight. So,
But if you want to screw the person over who's starting the heist, you can make them lose all their money by making the heist go very crappily.
that's very true.
Yep.
Very, very true. So that is coming on both consoles this week. And then releasing... Go ahead.
I am now interested in this because that sounds like a lot of fun trolling opportunities.
You set your coffee on the dash.
Ben,
And
do you have
you
this
com-
for Xbox or?
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
It's your PlayStation, so you got to go buy a PlayStation.
Not
Um,
worth it.
So if
Oh,
you
no.
want, it's
Okay,
a $400 trolling thing. So you go ahead and do it.
Is trolling worth that much to you? I think my computer's about to
Can you
crash.
put a price on joy?
Yeah. Yeah, you can.
You can
Okay.
definitely buy happiness.
My computer is spazzing out.
When you try it, though, I do want you to let me know how. We were wondering how they're going to keep the driver busy.
That's
Like,
all I'll play as.
not bored.
Yeah, we want to see just how many coffees that you get to set on the dash.
I want you to fail because your dash is completely covered in
I
coffees.
can't see it. So much coffee on the windshield.
Right.
Hey, you want to pull up the drop from the drive and just read what's coming out on PS4 this week? Because my computer is...
I get to do the PS4 releases?
Yeah, you get to do the PS4 releases while my computer tries to catch up here.
So awesome.
Technical difficulties. It's live television, boys and girls.
Okay, well, I'm going to get... my name is...
Dear Lord, please work, computer, for the love of all things holy.
I'm going to give you guys the drop for... we're only worried about PS4, right?
Yes.
No Vita stuff?
No.
Okay, so coming out this week for PS4, we have Devil May Cry Definitive Edition. We have Hotline
Hold on,
Miami
read us
2.
the descriptions and give them
I
to
gotta
us.
do that. Okay, the definitive edition of the critically acclaimed action game arrives with enhanced 1080p graphics and 60 frames per second. New features and all the original DLC included. Chained together stylish combos with up to 8 unique weapons.
All right, thank the Lord. Mine's working now. All right,
I did a good
Hotline
job. That was
Miami
good.
2. Wrong number is coming out.
That was good,
Go
man.
Ahead. Go ahead.
Gosh.
Keep
No,
going
it's
with
okay.
it. Nah,
You go
keep
ahead.
going with it, buddy.
Nah,
I
quit.
care about you.
I quit.
Also coming to the PlayStation 4 is Hotline Miami, Hotline Miami 2, wrong number.
Hotline Miami 2, Wrong Number is a brutal conclusion to the Hotline Miami saga set against the backdrop of escalating violence and retribution over spilled blood in the original game. Follow the paths of several distinct factions, each with their own questionable methods of uncertain motivations.
And we talked about this a little bit last week, but I'm really excited about that game, and so I will be playing it. I'll let you know how it is next week. Okay, here's one that you'll love Larry. Scram Kitty DX. Take control of a buddy. A rail riding of buddy, not a buddy. It's not just like a generic buddy. It is
all of a sudden,
Laser shooting
all of a
young
sudden, your
hero
Brandon Stark taking care of Hodor.
on a perilous quest to
Hodor.
rescue his pet cat, Scram Kitty.
There's so much going on. Are you reading? Take control of Buddy, a rail riding, laser shooting young hero on a perilous quest to rescue his pet cat, Scram Kitty, kidnapped and imprisoned in the depths of the world's biggest orbiting space laboratory, along with all the Earth's cats. Scram Kitty is at the mercy of an army of experimental mechanized rodents.
experimental mechanized rodents.
I
If
think
all
there's
of
like
the-
a world, like a Nazi and a Jew allegory thing going on there.
I don't know. What? If all the world's cats were contained in one spot and couldn't get out, why would we save them?
Exactly.
Cats are the devil.
That seems like the best way to make things happen.
Oh, you just broke. Seth
I'm not moving.
may actually.
I can't. I'm sorry. I'm not moving.
Seth may actually quit the podcast because of that comment. He loves cats.
I'm really excited about this next one. Go ahead.
Okay, then we have Sniper Elite 3 Ultimate Edition. The Ultimate Edition contains the thrilling main game, as well as 9 additional DLC packs, including the biggest environments yet. Includes free updates to main game and 6 new multiplayer maps. So why are you excited about shooting people in slow motion through the testicular region?
What?
That's what you do in Sniper Elite.
Do you? I always thought you shot him in the head.
Well, I mean, you can shoot them wherever.
I played this game, the original Sniper Elite, and I started playing it again the other night on PS Now, and it was actually pretty cool. But this looks like a lot better because it's a lot more better graphics.
A lot more better graphics, ladies
Yes.
and gentlemen. So that
If
is.
you're into PS3, Tokyo Twilight
No.
Ghost.
I'm never giving up control of anything ever again.
I'm never giving control of it.
It's the color commentary we bring to this beautiful podcast.
Dear Lord. All right, and the PlayStation Plus titles were finally announced last week, and they include you're actually going to be able to get 4 titles on PS4 because both Vita titles are going to be cross-buy. But you get Oddworld Abe's Odyssey, which is a remake of a PlayStation 1
I remember
game.
that actually.
And then Valiant Hearts, it's really sad. You got to play it.
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
I haven't finished it. I just ran through the first chapter the first night that I got it, but I really enjoy it.
I hear a lot of people really enjoy the story of it, and that's kind of what it's driven by, right?
Yeah, it's all story. There's basically no gameplay. I think there are maybe 3 buttons that you press, movement, picking up things, and basically it's like a trigger, X, and your joysticks, maybe one more button that you press. But it's really just so story driven, and it's a lot of fun.
I'm excited to get it started. I downloaded it, but I've had my hands full this week with a lot of other things. Ollie Ollie 2 is also going to be free for PlayStation Plus members. I tried it. Not really my thing. Side-scrolling skate game where you try to, put together combos and accomplish certain challenges. I can see why people would think it was fun, but it was just really frustrating to me, mostly because I suck at video games. And then Counter Spy released. I haven't got a chance to try that, but it looks like it's a lot of fun as well. So that is all of your releases for PS4. And then coming out exclusively on Xbox this week, we have Ori and the Blind Forest. Now, we cannot talk about this on the live stream because the embargo isn't lifted until 11 tonight. But if you go follow us over at youtube.com/player3podcast, we will give you all of our thoughts. Or if you listen to the audio podcast on iTunes, Podbean, or Stitcher, it will be included in the audio that releases later this evening. So you will get to hear our thoughts on Ori and the Blind Forest.
If you can go back, Leanna said something.
Oh, I'm sorry. What did she say here? She said, Seth needs to earn title of Bay. It's puzzles and stuff. Valiant Hearts is Bay. I read those backwards. I don't know what any of those
Valiant Hearts
mean.
is Bay.
Leanna, you were Bay.
Oh, my God. Moving on. So that was your releases of the week.
Releases of the week. Clap, clap.
All right. Now we're moving on to well, first of all, let me take a minute to read this. If you want to help support our podcast, the best way to do it, you can follow us on Twitch. You can subscribe on iTunes. But if you really love us, really want to help us out, head on over to our iTunes page. Leave us a review. We'll read those out on the podcast, and they just really help us out. So this week we got one from Phantom 4's longtime friend of the show. If you can be longtime,
He is very long.
show that's 22 episodes old.
We actually pay him our same salary that we get for the podcast for all the promotion
Double.
work that he does.
Oh, yeah, we raised it. Sorry. We didn't want to tell you. We figured you'd be offended.
I'm real upset about it.
Anyway, so he says, I like to stay informed with the latest in video game news, and my favorite way to do it is by listening to gaming podcasts. There are many gaming podcasts to listen to, but if you are looking for quality over quantity, the Player 3 podcast is the one that I highly recommend. They are a group of awesome Southern gentlemen that are very polite, passionate, and knowledgeable about gaming. They all take their turn with the presentation without constantly interrupting each other. You would know that from today's episode. I highly recommend that you give them a try. You'll be glad you did, sincerely. Go ahead, follow him on Twitter at Phantom4s. He's awesome.
Southern gentlemen.
We are Southern gentlemans.
Well, I'm just going to talk like this for the rest
I
of the
see, I swear, it's just preposterous, boy.
All right.
I like it a lot.
I like it a lot tonight. Leanna, if you could also let one know how one earns the title of Bay.
If you guys really love
Hey,
the
man,
podcast,
just keep drinking. You sound kind of thirsty.
Seth, you need to.
that was good. That was good.
Diz, can you run in the other room and get my bag? I've got some burn ointment in there.
Oh, all right. Moving on to news.
Well, we're moving on news.
News with the podcast guys. That's not the jingle, Seth.
That one made
What's
me laugh.
happening to this show? If this is your first time ever listening to Player 3 Podcast, this isn't even a little bit like how... Actually, this has become pretty standard. All right.
Conversational podcast.
First item on the list, we have Metal Gear Solid 5 gets the release date of September 1st. Seth,
Talk to me.
you talk to me about how excited you are about Metal Gear Solid.
I'm so happy. It's sort of like the day I found God.
Continue.
I loved the Phantom Pain. I loved.
You can't hold it together. You can't keep it together.
No, I can't hold it
All right,
together.
we're back on track.
Back on
All right,
track.
talk to us, baby.
I loved the Phantom Pain. All like 2 hours of gameplay to it. I played through it probably 5 or 6 times. I went through all the side missions trying to get that S rank. I never did. On one of them, I did. Hideo Kojima, I love everything about that man. And if he can just keep making games like he has in the past and keep innovating in new ways, then I'm really excited to see what this huge open world Metal Gear Solid game is going to be all about.
One of the things that Kojima said is that, and I'm going to get your reaction to this, is that Metal Gear Solid 5 is going to be the last Metal Gear game. However, he also said that Metal Gear 4 was going to be the last Metal Gear game.
I don't believe that, man.
Yeah, you're kind of entrenched in the world. So.
He's making a. What's up? Is there more? Switch screens.
Oh,
We need-
okay. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Is it Drix?
Okay, you're talking about Metal Gear Solid. We'll come back to that. Go ahead.
I'm gonna be working on
Yeah,
that all
don't-
night.
Just
Um,
Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, people probably thought that Metal Gear Solid, after the first couple of Metal Gear games and whatnot, was going to be probably a standalone game or whatever. No, that didn't happen. As long as these things are going to be making money and as long as there's more of a story to tell, they're going to be telling that story, and they're going to be doing it in all kinds of new ways throughout the years. I wouldn't be surprised if I turn 50. I'm as old as Solid Snake is, and they're still coming out with these things. Solid Snake was.
You got a chance to see the console. Did you guys get a chance to see the special edition PS4 for Metal Gear Solid
Yeah.
5? It's red. It's sexy. You saw it? It's awesome.
I like red things.
Now, that's only releasing in Japan, but they announced today that they are going to be closely monitoring the interest of that for the West. So if that releases, Seth, are you going to buy a Metal Gear Solid 5 PlayStation
Phil Spencer,
4?
I know you're an Xbox executive, but if you could make this happen for me, I'd really appreciate it.
You know what makes me happy about this? Possibly being the last the last one in the series. I'm not gonna say it because I can't say it.
What?
They may make an anthology of these, and I can go buy all of them.
They already have an anthology of
They have the Metal Gear HD.
up until all of the ones up through 4, and then
They have an
the
anthology for what?
for
It's for-
PlayStation 3.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's just PS3. See,
One of the things that Kojima's has expressed interest in is that he wants. And explain to me how you think this would work, because you guys aren't Metal Gear fans, right?
Nope.
And you're.
I've
not.
never played a game.
I
I've
think
always
I'm
wanted
I think
to.
I'm the only Metal Gear fan in the
That's
room.
why I feel like I'm kind of interviewing you. It's the Luke and Seth corner,
Well,
right?
talk
I've
to me.
always
Let
wanted
me,
to
let
play
me just
that.
put my hand on your leg and we'll talk.
Okay.
I like Snake
It's
Plissken.
not. Go for it, please.
So Kojima has expressed some interest that he wants an open world remake of Metal Gear Solid, the very first.
I heard about that. That was on Beyond or Game.
Yeah,
Kind of Funny
they
Games
talked
Cast,
about it
one
a
or the
couple
other.
weeks ago, but that for some reason it kind of came back up in conversation. I don't know if something was said at PAX East or maybe at GDC. But first of all, how do you think that would work? Do you think that would work? Is that something you'd be interested in?
I have no earthly idea how that would work. I would really like to see it. Is Larry asleep?
I'm just resting my eyes.
Okay. But yeah, if they could make it happen, I really loved in Metal Gear 4 when they went back to Shadow Moses, and had all the graphics we reworked from kind of when we first got to see a 2D realm or a 3D realm in the first Metal Gear Solid. They went back and changed everything, and they kind of brought back themes and not necessarily characters, but you got to see an environment that had worn down over time, but looked so much better than it did when it first showed up in the world. I'd really be interested to see if they could do something, again, crazily innovative like that.
So Metal Gear Solid 5 coming September 1st. Next item on the list, Sony has reached 20.2 million units sold worldwide. This is according, I guess, the sales number, but it's an article from NeoGAF. And I meant to look at how these numbers compare to others. I think it is the fastest selling console. One of the fastest selling. I know it's one of the fastest selling consoles of all time, but I want to say it's the fastest. But anyway, so 20.2 million units sold. That's a huge deal.
Now, is that sold to people that sell the consoles, or that's sold to people like people have purchased them?
I'm not positive. However, it's important to note that people like to make a big deal out of sold and sold in, because what sold in means is it's sold to retailers and distributors. But the thing is even if it's just sold in numbers, companies rarely will ship items that are not going to be sold.
Right.
Yeah.
So
20.2 million units sold worldwide, regardless of whether that's sold in or sold to consumers, is a pretty big deal. And
huge feat.
we're going to talk later on through this podcast about how I think the gap is going to start to narrow. I think Xbox One. We all agree Xbox One is making up ground. But I think they've made some more steps over here at GDC. So just an interesting thing to note, Sony reaching 20.2 million units sold. Next item on the list, there have been some rumors about what PS4 firmware update 2.50 is going to hold. This is a crazy website. All right, here we go. This is expected to release sometime late March, early April, and it's going to bring suspend and resume mode to your PlayStation, button remapping, which I think is a really cool idea, especially for people who remote play on Vita. Maybe they'll be able to adjust, and they'll have 60 frame per second remote play and 60 frame per second share play, external being able to back up your games to an external hard drive, and then trophy guides for PS4. And then another thing is those pesky games that you pop in and you don't like, and then trade them in without unlocking any trophies. You can delete the 0% trophies off of your console, so they're not dirtying up your,
Can you
your
delete-
trophy list anymore.
What if you got like trophies in it? Can you delete the ones that you got trophies for?
I don't think so. I think it's just if they're 0%.
Uh,
So I'm excited about suspended resume. Well, let me get you guys' thoughts as PS4 owners. What about this? Is there anything about this that excites you or disappoints you?
I mean, it's cool that we're getting a pretty big. It's going to be a big update. That's pretty neat. I mean, what?
It just sounded funny. I don't know.
It's cool that we're going to get a decent sized firmware update, because I feel like Xbox has been ahead in that respect. Like, they're pretty good about getting solid updates on a consistent basis. So it's nice to see a good sizable update for PlayStation 4. But there's not really anything I'm excited about.
Is the update worth it if there's nothing you're excited about?
I mean, I don't have a Vita, so I customize it.
If a tree falls in the forest and no one's around to hear it, does it make a sound?
I like the external backup stuff. I think that's pretty cool.
I think for me, if nothing else, it just shows like, okay, we're not going to have to wait nearly as long between kind of these major updates, because we got the last one in November. We're getting this one at the end of March. And I mean, that's still quite a while, but just to see that they're actively listening to what the community wants, in one regard, but then in another, it's like, are there really people asking for 60 frame per second share play or 60 frame per second remote play? But like the suspend and resume stuff, that was stuff that was promised to us at the very beginning, and now they're finally delivering on it, and that's good. So as long as the updates keep rolling out, I'm good. I'm good with it.
I like the button remapping. I don't have a PlayStation, but I like messing with stuff.
But you will have a PlayStation.
Someday when you buy me one.
The CV Tech asks this. How come when Sony comes up with USB hard drive update, it's a big deal, but Xbox One has had it and it's not a big deal? Why do you think that is?
Because PlayStation didn't have it, and now they have it. Like, it's a pretty. I don't know. I don't mean to be a jerk about it, but that's pretty self-explanatory. Like, if you've always had, like, if you've never been blind, and you can see things, then obviously. But if you've always been blind, and you get the power of sight, then
The power is yours.
So you're equating hard disk drive support to being able to see.
Yeah. But you understand what I'm saying? Like, if you've always had it, it's not that big of a deal. But if you have never had it and then you get it, it's pretty cool.
I can see that. I also think it's not a big deal either way.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think anyone's out, like, stopping the presses to go get somebody to be like, all right, PlayStation just announced they're doing external hard drive support. Stop it. We got to print this quick. Like, I don't think it's that big a deal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just news gets announced because it's news. Like, and it's, like you said, it's something that people don't have, and now we will have it. So, Leanna Wall says that was too deep a philosophy for video games there.
No Hankins, you're welcome.
I'm sorry, Leanna.
Next, this kind of is just a lot of things lumped into one thing. Well, first of all, the Unreal Engine, it was announced this week that it was going to be made free to everybody. So this massive engine that a lot of games are built on is now going to be free to download and to use and to develop games. And so that's great news for independent developers, that they're not having to front a bunch of costs to be able to use the tools that are provided in this. So that's a big deal. That's really good. And Unreal is going to get their money by getting a 5%, what do you call it?
Commission?
Yeah, like a 5% commission off of all the sales of games that are built off of the Unreal Engine. And so what that's going to allow is it's going to allow Unreal to come alongside their developers, and because they understand that they succeed when when the developers succeed. Right. It's kind of like a homeostatic relationship. So we have that. Lump that together with the fact that now Xbox One has announced kind of one of the things that PlayStation 4 has been able to kind of brag about at E3s and at other kind of trade shows is their support for the indie developer. But I think between GDC and PAX East this week, Xbox One really set themselves up to be the console that independent developers are going to want to develop on. Several reasons here. First of all, Xbox One is announced that they will be unlocking their retail Xbox Ones as dev kits later this year. So what that means is that developers aren't going to have to go out and drop $2,500 on a dev kit Xbox One. That they'll just be able to use the Xbox One that they can buy from the store. They'll be able to access developer tools and those sorts of things. Xbox One has also announced that there are over 30 indie titles that will be coming to the Xbox One soon. Some of those titles are things that have released already on PC and PlayStation 4. Others of those are things that are going to be coming first to Xbox. And then the last thing, and then I'll let you guys give your thoughts on it, is Xbox used to have, in their ID program, their ID at Xbox program, they had a really stringent parity clause where they said, if you're going to release an independent game on our console, it has to release at the same time as it does on other platforms, PS4 and PC. And they've lifted that to say, they've lifted that to say, look, it doesn't matter. We want to come alongside you as Microsoft and help you to release on our platform, even if we aren't the first console to get it, and even if we don't get it at the same time as other platforms, which is a huge deal. But I want to get you guys' thoughts on it first.
Awesome. Now, Seth, you can launch those 6 games you've been working on.
It's actually more like 17 now.
Gosh, you had a
moved
busy
fast.
week. You had a really busy week.
Unreal became available for free, so he's been really killing it with development.
I've been churning out games. I've been churning out songs from Lana in my brain in the last 10 minutes.
But yeah, that's really cool. I definitely think they'll gain some ground on the whole indie market now. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Well, and I think the dev kit thing's a big deal, obviously, for the front end cost, but the parity thing is a huge deal because you're working in a small studio. Like, if you're an independent developer, it's probably not a ton of people working on your game, and it requires different efforts, energies, and resources to make a game for PC and for Xbox and for PS4. And if Xbox is saying you've got to come out at the same time as you do on PC and PS4, a lot of people are going to a lot of developers would just skip over Xbox because you can't put that many resources towards just one thing, especially when it's not the biggest install base that you have, you know? Indie developers are really conscious about wanting to get on mobile first or get on PC first because they understand like that market is saturated with devices that we can be on. And so I think that's a huge deal. It takes a lot for an indie game to kind of stand out to me and catch my eye, but I know for a lot of people, especially people frustrated and upset with the way that AAA releases have been going lately, indie games are the thing that they want to play the most because it's where creativity lies. Des and I were talking about that earlier, about how like as an indie studio, you kind of have the ability to be creative and put out like things that aren't just huge open world experiences or massive first-person shooter multiplayer things. Like you can make a 2D side-scroller or a top-down twin-stick shooter or something like that, and there's freedom within that, and that's what a lot of people are wanting to play now. So good job by Xbox for understanding that. Next item on the list, it's official, Ben, because you love it. Rock Band 4.
Not just I, though.
Well, all of you guys, but I know you get most excited about this.
Very excited. Rock
Band 4 will be... is officially coming to next-gen consoles this year and will support all of your existing DLC. That's confirmed, right?
The DLC part is.
The DLC part is confirmed. So if you bought stuff on 360, it'll work on Xbox One. If you bought it on PS3, it'll work on PS4.
But the questionable part is the
peripherals.
Now, they're selling packages. They're going to sell a guitar package, and they're going to sell a guitar, drum, and mic package with new external hardware for Rock Band. I saw that on a. Let me see if I can find the site again.
So are they
But
are they developing new instruments?
yeah,
Okay.
from what I read on this site, they're developing new instruments. Let me find the site and I can reference it.
Larry.
While we're waiting, CB Tech clarified his question earlier. He said, "It's just that when I can't read your screen and reach my mic."
It's just when I tell my friends about Xbox One features and they think it's stupid, but as soon as Sony has the same features and it's a big deal, just saying.
That's because of fanboys.
Yeah, I'm not a
You just
fanboy. I
gotta
have both
shrug it off.
systems. I'm not a fanboy. I have both systems, so I mean, there's not,
But yeah, there are a lot of people like that out there. It's annoying.
Well, no, but it works the same. It works both ways,
Yeah.
Like,
You're excited about what you get.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. Mad Cats is teaming with Harmonix Systems to launch Rock Band 4 for the PS4 systems and the Xbox One, and they're doing they're doing the Band in the Box bundle, which is going to include the game, wireless Fender Stratocaster, guitar controller like the old one, I guess, a wireless drum kit, and a microphone, and then
okay, so it's all wireless, which that's new, right?
I don't know if the microphone's wireless, but the other ones were wired, so all this other stuff will be wireless, and then they're doing just a guitar bundle with the wireless Fender Stratocaster. So.
Well, that's cool because it used to be chord hell when you would play Rock Band games because there's just
chord and no place.
the chord no place just because there were chords going everywhere, and so the fact that they're releasing wireless stuff is really cool.
Everywhere I've heard, like, nobody's super excited about this. I don't understand why though. Like, I understand like on the graphic sense, like there's not a whole lot of improvement you can do on just a bar that rolls color down that you have to press buttons at a certain time with the color to change, but having it to be able to play it now is pretty cool to me, I think. And I would hope that they allow you, since it's next gen, if they don't provide it as an opportunity for you to play it for free, they at least provide an opportunity for you to purchase the DLC from the previous Rock Bands or purchase song lists from the previous Rock Bands. That would be pretty cool. I don't know if that's something they're looking to do, but
I'm not excited about it because Rock Band's only fun to me for like an hour every 3 years or so.
Yeah, I'm kind of
It
in the
gets
same
old
boat.
to me real fast.
I would play it by myself for long periods of time, just in the dark, just weeping.
Just in the dark. I don't actually even. I don't actually even have
the flames. Just
I don't even actually have my television on. I'm just sitting there strumming the guitar.
Nah, the reason I'm so excited, well, one main reason I'm so excited about it is my wife is a huge Rock Band fan, and anything I can get her to play with me, I'm like super excited to.
Yeah, you
be able
are.
to do. So, oh gosh, it's another level.
you took it too far.
I like to kind of get me and her like hobbies that we can do together. So that's a
Yeah, you do.
Oh my gosh, dude. But that's why I've been looking for a drum set for 360 for forever because I've got Rock Band for 360. So yeah, I'm just excited to have this on the console that I own that I can play it on with her, and it'll be good.
One of the things that they've talked about is how they don't want this to be like something that it's like, all right, Rock Band 4 is coming out this year. Next year, Rock Band 5. Next year is Rock Band 5 : whatever. Like, they want this to be a platform. And when and then it'll be like post-release support, adding songs, adding DLC, adding game modes, adding new features to it. But it's not like you're going to have to go out and continually buy new things. So
that's a smart model, especially with what Ben was saying. The like graphically stuff like that, it's not really going to improve any. So, yeah.
Now, I've never been a Rock Band fan, but when you bought it, you bought like the peripherals. Was the game $60 itself plus the?
It was 140 something, I think, for the Band in the Box.
So that was the drum set, the guitar, the mic.
You could buy just the game if you already had the equipment to play it with, but then it had bundles.
Okay, so let's say I have the equipment. Rock Band 3 comes out. How much is Rock Band 3?
$60.
So do you think that this would benefit maybe from a like free to play model where they get their sales solely off of the sale of peripherals and the sale of DLC songs.
Like each song 99 cents or something.
Yeah, something like an iTunes model maybe.
I think that would be really smart for Harmonix to look into.
You could maybe make your own package.
Especially since they're kind of losing the. I don't want to say they're losing the game market, but you've got like real sim control stuff now, where like I can't think Rocksmith, where you can plug a real guitar in and try to learn how to play guitar, and that's nowhere near as fun to actually learn a life skill than to just pretend not to have a life skill. Like I would much rather do that, but
I would much rather sit in a dark room weeping at my underwear.
right,
Bum, bum, bum on a toy guitar.
right. But the like Red Octane and Harmonix, Red Octane's with Guitar Hero, like those both of those companies. When it came out, it was like, this is like the stuff. Like everybody wanted it because it was brand new. Nobody had done that kind of stuff before. It was just really cool. It was like DDR with your hands. Like it was really, really neat. It's technically exactly what it is. A perfect description. I know. I'm the greatest.
I'm on fire.
but now that's kind of that new age of it's kind of floated by. Like I think that would be the new thing for them to try. Like and I feel like they would make a lot bigger because one, you don't have to worry about developing a new game to get revenue. You just add button mapping for a song, and
Especially if they're wanting this to be kind of like a year-to-year platform where it's not like we're releasing something new every 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
To say, hey, entry level into this, all the investment you have to put in is buying whatever instruments you want to play as. Like you don't have to buy the game, and then over the course of years and years of putting out songs that people are paying 99 cents or whatever they're going to pay, whatever they'd pay for them. I think that model would really work.
Because they're still putting out DLC for like Rock Band 3, aren't they?
Well, and I think that was kind of funny because they took some time off. I think like they released DLC when it came out, then they took some time off, and then to get people kind of back into it with the release of Rock Band 4, they said we're gonna start releasing DLC again, which I guess is a smart move. It gets people talking about it before you're ready to make the official announcement about what you really want them to be excited about. Next item on the list, Mad Max, which am I right in thinking Mad Max was supposed to be a launch title?
Yeah, it definitely was.
Okay, because I remember seeing signs for it like in the August before the PlayStation 4 release. Hey, can you crack that door? I'm getting a little warm in here. Oh, and he's going to crack the window. It's getting great.
Springtime.
It's getting a release date of September 4th, and it's releasing on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Couple things of interest to discuss within this. First of all, no PS3 or Xbox 360 version.
Nice.
And we've given our thoughts at length on that about how we think it's time for developers to pick a side and put their money where their mouth is. We paid for these consoles. We want things that are developed for these consoles. So that probably explains the delay a little bit. They decided to cancel PS3 360 and thought we can do a lot more with this game now. So, but then the next thing is that the release date is September 4th, 3 days after Metal Gear Solid. Do you think that that is a smart move, a wise move?
Definitely not. I'm definitely not going anywhere near Mad Max until I finish Metal Gear Solid.
Because they kind of appeal to the same cross section of people, right?
I mean, nerds.
Sure.
They're both like exploding action games, right?
Metal Gear Solid is not really.
It's more.
It's
more
got some action, but it's more of a stealth. You're trying to avoid combat.
Escape from Thunderdome.
That's it.
Yeah.
Escape from Thunderdome. Yeah.
I feel like Mad Max is going to be you're trying to seek combat.
Isn't Mad Max like post-apocalyptic? And
Yeah.
The movies were, I think. Weren't
Yeah.
They? Yeah.
So I think anything bumped up against that Metal Gear Solid release, even though I would argue just based off of us sitting here and just hearing other people talk about Metal Gear Solid's kind of a niche thing. And
It is and it isn't. I mean, once upon a time, it was one of the huge PlayStation exclusives, and Leanna.
Stop looking at the chat.
I'm sorry. Once upon a time, it was like a huge PlayStation exclusive, and it was something that not necessarily everybody went to, but it's not like a stealth simulator or anything like that. You can get into combat as much as you want if you want to. Yeah, Larry.
But on the other hand, it's kind of like Hitman, where you get graded based off like it's better. The game encourages stealth.
It encourages stealth, but I very rarely end up avoiding combat totally. Most of the time, I end up, let me give this a shot. Oh, that didn't work out. All right, let me whip out all my guns and just blaze a trail.
See, I've always been interested in trying Metal Gear Solid, but I've never. I can't start a game like.
Well, we're going to GameStop later. I'll tell you what. You get yourself a PlayStation 3. You get yourself a Metal Gear Legacy Collection.
Nope.
Yeah, come on.
Nope.
Come on.
It's like a $300 investment. I can't do it.
It'll happen.
Can't do it.
Now, Metal Gear is PlayStation exclusive, right?
Once
No,
upon a
it
time,
used
it
to be.
was.
Okay. That's why I'm mixed up. Never mind.
Which was the first one to come out on Xbox? Was it?
It was the HD collection.
Okay.
4 was back when the PlayStation 3 first came out. Then the HD collection came out with just Metal Gear Solid 2 and Metal Gear Solid 3, and it had Snake Eater, I think. No,
Okay.
I mean, Metal Gear Solid 3 is Snake Eater. Peace Walker,
Yeah.
which was like not a Vita title, a PSP title. And since then, Phantom Pain's really been the only other game to come out in the Legacy collection. But I think the Legacy collection was only on PlayStation 3.
Did you just say that it came on Xbox?
Yes.
Oh, it's PlayStation exclusive.
Welcome to the last 20 seconds.
No, for real. I thought I heard you, but I didn't piece it together when you said it.
This part of the conversation started with me saying, "Isn't it Xbox exclusive?" And Luke said, "Once upon a time, it was."
Okay, that's where that came.
Anyway, the
Can't hear you over
point
in the
the
corner.
point I wanted to make with the Mad Max stuff is that with Metal Gear Solid 5 releasing, and with Xbox One and PS4 owners now kind of jumping into this world, and I think we're at a point in the life cycle where people are just kind of willing to buy whatever the biggest release is just to get a taste of it, because like I feel like there's been this rekindled interest in just jumping in and doing and finding new things to play. Like it almost seems like every what am I trying to say? Every title that is kind of like in the vein of a popular thing is outselling previous iterations of that game because people want to jump in and try something new. Is that a good point? Does that make sense? I don't think that made sense.
I think
That's not a good
so.
point.
I think
But anyway, so I think when Metal Gear Solid releases, there's going to be a ton of interest, even from people who may not necessarily deem themselves Metal Gear Solid fan. And not Phantom Pain. What was
Snake Eater.
No. What was the mini prequel that just released?
Phantom Pain.
No, Ground Zeroes.
Ground
Zeroes.
Zeroes.
Shit.
I think
I've made that mistake several times talking about the game in the
I think
last
the
20 minutes.
I think the Ground Zeroes prequel, because it released for like what, $25, $30.
No, 30, yeah.
Yeah, it released for $30. Like that was a brilliant move by them to generate. Like, okay, we understand that there's a group of people who probably don't know where to start with Metal Gear Solid because it's kind of an intimidating anthology to jump into. So to have like, all right, here's a place to start that's going to get you ready for the bigger title that's going to come in a year, 18 months. Like that was super intelligent of them to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Mad Max picking September 4th, that had to have just been a complete unawareness of when Metal Gear Solid 5 was going to be coming.
Or they just didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal.
I can't see him. I can't see that kind of an oversight happening. Anyway, next item on the list. Xbox Preview members have been given the opportunity to test out a program called Overdog. And what this program does is you create a profile. You talk about not only your gaming interests, but just your life interests. And it tries to pair you in multiplayer matches with people who have similar interests to you. As a concept, how do you guys feel about Overdog?
Sounds like a cool feature that I would never use. I already kind of play with, as far as who's on my team, I already play with the people that I want to play with. As I talk, I'm convincing myself otherwise. Because there are times where like we don't have enough people for the raid on Destiny. It would be cool. All right, we need one more. Throw somebody in here with us.
Will it matchmake on that level?
Yeah, I guess maybe not. But then playing against other people, like usually we don't interact with them, and I don't care what kind of interests they have.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things go ahead. I've been talking a lot.
You have.
Yeah. I was still collecting my thoughts as you were
Oh,
talking.
well,
Yeah.
I will say even outside of Destiny, though, like on Master Chief Collection, you got 3 people, you're going to a 6-man game type. it would be neat to be able to drop in a few more people. But
I'm like you, like if with your first point before you talked yourself out of it. When I jump into a multiplayer game, it's because I have people available that I'm gonna want to play with, and I don't know. I don't really enjoy social media. I don't spend a ton of my time on Facebook. I spend a lot of time on Twitter, but it's the show's Twitter, and so this is kind of adding social media into video games, and I'd rather not.
That was a point I was gonna make. I am almost anti social media. I have very little care with social media. I think I was on Facebook for like 3 days, and I deleted it. Well, I still have it, but I deleted it off my phone because I just don't keep up with it. I'm terrible about keeping up with social media. So, I will probably never use this. I think it's cool. I mean, if you're gonna play by yourself, like if you're somebody who doesn't have any friends and you want to make friends online,
let me just word this.
If you're just a big old fat loser, Overdog's for you.
But I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm with you. Normally, if we play, we have too many people to fill the slots that we have open. So,
And too many cooks will spoil the broth.
yeah, they will. That's not the American way, though, Larry.
Moving on. HBO Go is now on PlayStation 4. A lot of people have been asking for this app, and you can go download it now. And you can watch all of your favorite HBO shows like True Detective, Game of Thrones, Girls, Miami Vice.
Wait. Have they got a True Detective
Movies.
release date yet?
I think it's June.
June.
I think it's in June. I'm not sure if
Vince
that's official.
Vaughn and Chuck Norris.
One of these things is not like the other.
I want to see that.
That would be good.
That would be entertaining.
It'd be like Walker Texas Ranger. Did you ever watch that show? It was actually really good
Yeah.
with Chuck Norris and the black guy.
It was not very good.
I liked it.
Don't.
He probably has
Chuck
a name.
Norris and the black guy.
I don't know.
It was
Michael
Texas.
Keaton.
It's the early 90s.
Right,
Norris,
right. It's-
Chuck
it was a
Norris
very
and Michael
different
Keaton.
time.
I don't know.
Michael
Oh my gosh. All right, I'm going to turn this over to our resident loves to get angry at Comcast associate Larry Hunt to give us this other little tidbit about HBO Go.
Apparently Comcast is blocking people from using HBO Go, and they've got some lame excuses for why they're doing it. But the reality is they're just trying to cut out competition. Comcast wants you to watch HBO on Comcast.
Wasn't the excuse or one of them that we have 1,000 devices that you can
Yes.
watch this on? You don't need one more.
Yeah, yeah.
This is America. We're
Well,
talking
this is
about
the
here,
same
man.
company that said they did a survey and users
offense,
don't want
Liam.
a faster internet. So,
What?
yeah, Comcast is a monster. Thank God for net neutrality. I can't wait to see them just obliterated by competition.
Will DSL ever get faster internet than Comcast?
Okay. What are you talking about?
With net neutrality, could I have faster internet than Comcast through CenturyLink? Is that
Well-
No, DSL is
just really crappy?
no, just the system of DSL. It gets bogged down with users. So the more users that are using it, the slower and slower it gets.
See,
and
I
that's just the nature of DSL.
I don't know how to internet, so I don't know these technical terms.
What I was
I
referring
do
to
not internet often.
is before the Title II reclassification. Comcast kind of had control over utility poles and stuff that were already in place, and they wouldn't let other people expand onto those.
Mhm.
So now other companies have access to that infrastructure, and whether or not anything will come of it, we'll see. But I'm hoping,
i.e.
because
Google Fiber.
Comcast is full of evil men who are greedy and they just want to ruin my life.
Well, I think Google's ready to jump on it. As soon as they know, there's no chance of this getting reversed in any way, I think Google's ready to pounce because, first of all, it's a cash cow. I can't even tell you how much I would pay for Google Fiber.
I'd pay a good amount of money. Yeah.
Here's some quotes from them. Go ahead.
I'd sell pieces of my body, like cut off an arm and sell it for Google Fiber.
How would you be able to game?
Oh, like cut off.
There
a
we
leg.
go.
This would be a fun.
Project Morpheus.
Can we ask this question really quick? Do we have?
Is it associated with this?
Yes, it is. It is
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
How much would you pay for Google Fiber? What's the low? What's the?
What is the most you would pay for Google
Yeah.
Fiber? All right. Well, you live with your parents.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that changes anything. I just wanted to shame you for a minute. I'm just kidding. I love you. Come live in my basement and pay for Google Fiber when it comes. How much would you
man.
pay for Google Fiber, Seth?
Oh man. I'd go up into the hundreds. 2, maybe 3. Furry fighter, please leave the room.
Whoa.
$300 for
Furry fighter's
a month?
entitled to his opinion.
Yeah, he's entitled to his opinion. If he doesn't
Even
see
if it's
that,
wrong.
Not
if he
that
doesn't
much.
see the importance of free speech and freedom of information and free and equal access to the internet, then that's his prerogative. But we here on P3P stand for net neutrality and all the
All
it
the
incurs,
good that comes
all
from
that
it.
it entails. Anyway, how much? How much would you pay?
I would go maybe as far as $25. I'm thinking. I mean, what do you pay for internet right now?
I'm paying $70 a month.
I would.
Is that what you're paying?
Yeah, I'd go to 100.
I'd go up to 100.
Yeah.
I'd cancel cable and go to 100.
I would literally cancel my DirecTV.
Yeah.
I'd pay $200 a month for Google Fiber, with no other internet, with no other entertainment besides like DVDs and like Netflix and stuff.
Which I'm hoping more television networks will follow suit with what HBO is doing, and
A la
you'll just
carte
be able
model?
to. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd love that so much.
Well, I think that's the future of television. Let me read some of these quotes to you guys because they're fun.
All right.
Oh yeah, we never got there, did we?
Quote, with every new website, device, or player we authenticate, we need to work through technical, and this is from Comcast, we need to work through technical integration and customer service, which takes time and resources. Moving forward, we will continue to prioritize as we partner with various players, unquote. Considering the fact that every single other internet and cable provider had worked through these kinks before, calling bullcrap on that. Here we go. Quote, while an ISP can throttle content delivery... wait, hold on. What is this from? I'm trying to find the quote that you were talking about where they were like...
find the quote
I can't find it, but I do remember reading the quote where they were like, you can get HBO Go on everything. You don't need it on PS4. Don't tell me what I need, Comcast.
Did you guys know Raleigh Durham has Google Fiber?
That's awesome.
That's close. Seriously, that's
I
like
like
2
how
hours
they
away.
call it the triangle. Isn't it called the triad?
Yeah, the triangle, whatever.
No. It's the triangle. The triangle is Raleigh, Durham, and
Chapel Hill.
Chapel Hill.
What's the triad?
The triad is Greensboro, High Point, and Winston-Salem.
What's the Tri-County area?
The Tri-County area is, I have no idea. All right, moving on.
Moving on up.
It's Henry Franklin and something else.
According to PlayStation's Twitter feed, Project Morpheus will be available as a consumer product in the first half of 2016. I think we've only talked really minimally about Project Morpheus, and so I want to get you guys' initial thoughts on VR and Project Morpheus and your interest in it, especially us as PS4 owners, and then we're going to talk about something Shuhei Yoshida said. But go ahead. Thoughts on Morpheus?
There are so many VR projects coming out that I have a lot of trouble keeping track of them.
Morpheus is the PlayStation one.
Well, yeah, but I mean, what
It's-
differentiates it
it's
from
full
everything else?
Morpheus is a VR that is designed specifically for the PlayStation 4. So it's virtual reality. You are inside the headset, and it is just like an immersive experience. HoloLens is an AR, augmented reality. So you see.
Well,
your
right.
actual world.
But isn't there one more VR project?
And then there is Oculus Rift, which is
Okay.
owned by Facebook. So you could just dismiss that.
Right.
Is there
right.
Isn't Google like Google Lens or something? Isn't that one?
Google Glass.
That's
Is it
Google
augmented?
Glass, and it's
That's
discontinued.
Oh, okay.
and that was just like a computer on your head.
Yeah.
That's what. Okay.
Really cool technology, but yeah, I don't.
Here's my thing with well, you finish what you were saying.
I had nothing else to say.
Okay, you just don't understand it.
No, I understand it. I mean, I
don't understand these new fandangled $1.09 coffees.
Bring me another 49-cent coffee.
Tell me about the good old days, Grandma. Anyway, I'm excited for the things, but I'm not. I don't know. I just love the couch experience of sitting on the console and playing with my hands.
Here's my thing with Project Morpheus. Like now that HoloLens is talking about this AR stuff, this augmented reality, I really have zero care for virtual reality at the moment. Like I want them to change Morpheus to augmented reality. Like, seriously, like watching the videos happen. They're going to be able to control a Mars lander with the HoloLens stuff. Like that is like really cool to me. And like,
What are you talking about?
they talked about being able to control like a Mars lander, like walk in and like look at the Mars lander in an open space with the HoloLens stuff.
I think they were talking about like kind of an educational. You get to like look at, not control.
Yeah, it's not like there's a rover on Mars that they will allow you to drive.
No, not you, not like just the consumer. Not like
you can
us.
download an
Consumer.
app.
I don't think anybody. I think it was just.
Well, the
check
way I
this thing
understood
out.
it was like the people who were the scientists that are working with that can control it. But never mind, it doesn't really matter. Like
regardless
regardless,
of the facts.
regardless of that, honestly, like who wouldn't want to have like another TV screen on their wall that they don't have to install? And like that's what HoloLens is gonna.
It's possible. It's not. They're not. They haven't announced. It's possible with HoloLens.
It's hard to discuss the things because
This is all conjecture.
it's all wild speculation. Wild speculation.
We're getting there.
I'll get there again later. Much louder. Also,
It's not all wild speculation. Like there are plenty of people who've tried out the Oculus Rift, and I've heard nothing but amazing things from it about how realistic and immersive it is.
Yeah, and I think like with Project Morpheus, virtual reality is kind of something that has sort of a forerunner with Oculus Rift, where they know what they want to accomplish and they know how to accomplish it well because someone's gone before them. And so with virtual reality, I think we have a little bit more of knowing what we can expect. HoloLens is so, and the virtual reality stuff is so kind of, it's going to be funny listening to this podcast in 10 years after all this stuff is out. But like, it's so augmented reality, that stuff is so new, and the potential is limitless basically with what can happen with it. And so go ahead.
With your rover point though, like you are hitting on something that is true. The augmented reality does have more like real world application to it.
It's like that thing where the video where the plumber's helping her install like the pipe, and she can see what he's circling on his diagram to fix what's happening. And like the thing with like, I'm probably gonna love, if I ever get my hands on Project Morpheus, like I'm probably gonna love it. It's gonna be awesome. Like I feel like it's gonna be great. And if I ever get my hands on HoloLens, I feel like I know I'm gonna really like it. But what you're saying, like it's like that Iron Man thing, like where he's designing his suit and he's like throwing stuff out in the sky. That like I could be sitting here in the podcast room being like, check this out, guys, whooshoo, and everybody's wearing their HoloLenses, and you guys can all see the HoloLens stuff. It's gonna be
Fun fact. One of the first, if not the first movie to do that was Minority Report. Do you remember that? Tom Cruise?
yeah, I saw it in theaters and
Yeah,
had no idea what was
yeah,
going
yeah,
on. I was like
yeah.
10 years old.
Like that, like they had that technology. He'd put on this glove and he was controlling the computer screens and stuff. That was a big influencer on the Kinect and how the motion controls work. So
pretty cool.
yeah, that's definitely the direction they're moving toward.
I just think that would be like, you're sitting in like, you're like a scientist sitting somewhere designing something, and you like have the ability to throw these things up, and I don't know. It's really cool. It's the future, and I feel like we're already in the future right now. It's with you being able to control your Kinect thing.
We are in the future of 2 years ago.
We're in the future of 1 second ago.
We are.
This
My
has
God.
been
This-
welcome to Philosophy 3 podcast.
This sentence ends in the future of the beginning of this sentence.
To
Boom.
every-
Your mind is blown.
Nope, not even gonna try.
But the VR stuff, I'm excited to see it. I know, like, right now I'm kind of excited. I know if I ever get my head inside one of those things, it'll be super exciting. But yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to see, but I just don't know what to expect and how immersive it really is yet.
Other than just the concept of the platform, like there is a huge difference in the way that PlayStation is approaching Morpheus and the way that Microsoft is approaching HoloLens. Like Morpheus is being developed pretty much exclusively as a PlayStation peripheral, like something that will enhance your PlayStation 4 experience. The problem with that is they've tried to develop a lot of things that have done that, like PlayStation Eye, PlayStation Move, those sorts of things. Whereas with Microsoft learned their lesson with the failure of Kinect. Is like they had all these big wild dreams about what Kinect was going to be outside of just video games, but then nobody really latched onto it video game wise, and so nobody else felt the need to latch onto it. Whereas with HoloLens, they're developing it kind of separate from gaming. Like gaming is going to just be a subsection of what HoloLens is capable of, and because of that, I think that's great news for us as gamers, because there's going to be enough of these things floating around in circulation doing other things that developers are going to be able to look and see, man, there's a lot of people that have HoloLens. Maybe we should put some energy, effort, and resources in our games towards developing a creative implementation of that.
Do you think the two different approaches have less to do with Microsoft learning from their failures and more to do with the companies themselves? Like Microsoft is involved in so much other stuff already. Because I remember very early on in the Kinect, like last gen Kinect, they had all these big dreams showing the doctor in the emergency room going through the scan of the body or whatever.
I think that's part of it, and we've kind of seen we have Microsoft who continues to widen where their influence is, and we talked a couple weeks ago about how Sony's starting to narrow it. Like we're exiting out of television, we're exiting out of TV producing like TVs you're watching on.
TV the pudding pops.
Pokemon.
And then, but anyway, so yeah, I think that's a big part of it is that Microsoft has more stuff to look to invest in towards, and so if they can find something that kind of hits a need across a lot of those platforms, this thing can make a lot of money. Speaking of money, segue. Still talking about Morpheus. Shuhei Yoshida was talking. This is according to Polygon, and he says, "quote Price has not been driving our development process." End quote. So basically, what that means is prepare to spend a lot of money on Project Morpheus. So my question to you is this: much like the Google Fiber, how much would you spend on if you got a chance to try it, and you thought, this is something I'll use, this is something I'll love? How much would you spend
If
on
I
Project
slap
Morpheus?
this, talk to me.
I'm not going to answer that question. I just want to make a statement, and then I'll answer the question.
I'm going to answer
I
your
wanna
question
make-
with
I wanna
5
make
other
a s-
questions.
I want to make a statement on the virtual reality thing again to kind of go to what Zephyr Baby here is saying. But
Well,
then
read
we'll-
what Zephyr Baby's saying.
well, I want to do that after we do the
Okay.
pricing. So
Okay.
I just wanted to make that so we don't move on.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, go ahead. Do what you're saying, pricing wise.
Oh, yeah. If I slap this bad boy on my head, and I...
I think I just learned what an ungrounded mic is.
What? Oh, you shocked yourself.
That's what I'm trying to avoid
You
here.
need these things.
Yeah.
Cushy little cushions.
But if I really enjoy this thing and, love it like a son, like I do my PlayStation, I would...
Dizzy's behind, remember? Keep going.
Right. I might go up to like the $200 mark or something like that. If it's just a peripheral that I really, 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 absolutely just need to have.
That was about the range I was going to, like $250, somewhere around there.
I would not pay that much for this.
Nothing more than what the console itself costs.
heck no. Yeah, no.
Good God, no.
You go ahead and answer your thing.
I don't even remember what we're talking about.
Well, let's say Xbox.
My mouth-
let's say Xbox released something like Project Morpheus. It's VR,
Uh-huh.
and you wore it, you loved it. And how much would you spend on it if it was something that like you really wanted to have?
I wouldn't go more than 300.
Oh, okay. So you're willing to pay a little bit
Ooh.
more.
Moneybags over
What
here,
else?
huh?
Well-
I kind of agree with Zephyr here in thinking that it might just be just a phase.
Oh,
Is that the same thing you were talking
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I was getting ready to say.
about?
Okay, go
well,
ahead,
Take
Ben.
it, Ben. Take
Okay,
it.
hey, real quick, I'm sorry.
I thought it was something different.
I want to edit my response.
yes.
I wasn't thinking of it in terms of peripheral. I was thinking in terms of like Oculus Rift as its own standalone system. But as a peripheral, yeah, I'd bump that down to 200. I'd go 200.
I'd pay $150 at the very most.
That's the price of a Kinect, though, separate, wasn't it?
See,
I can't imagine
and let me explain. I'll explain why.
the technology, because the technology's way superior to the Kinect, I would think.
Yeah.
I'll explain why. Why I say that 150. Zephyr Baby, his comment that we have kept you all in the dark about. Those of you who aren't watching live, well, everybody's in here is watching live stream, so never mind. But his comment, I think it's a phase referring to virtual reality. Virtual reality has been around before, and it's faded out. It will probably pop up once again in the future. I think I would pay 150 for at the most for this Oculus Rift thing. Do you guys remember what
Project Morpheus.
Project Morpheus? Do you guys remember what Virtual Boy? You guys know what that is? Virtual Boy. It's a really old console. It was back like it's back in the Atari days. It may have been a little after Atari. I
Do
can't
you remember that?
Well, I watch a lot of game room videos because I'm trying to make one, and a lot of people collect those. But it's this thing that you sit on the table, and it's got like
you sit your coffee on the desk.
it's like a stand, almost like this here, almost like this mic stand, and you it's like a kind of like binoculars on a stand, and you look into it, and it's got a controller, and everything is within the view of this stand. Now, Project Morpheus is a little bit more open and move around kind of thing, but Virtual Boy, you had to sit still in the viewfinder of the thing, and you had to kind of be there stationary. But that was very much virtual reality. That's what it was supposed to immerse you in the game. It's supposed to keep you more engaged in what was going on, and those things were. I don't know how much they were back in the day, but they were. They're pretty collectible now. People have them in a lot of collections that they keep, but that technology is not something that is. It's just like Zephyr Baby saying that technology isn't something that hasn't been around, and he's saying the Virtual Boy was back in the '90s. So,
I think there's a big difference though, because for me growing up, like I was aware of some of the virtual reality stuff. Like I had a submarine game that you played, and it was like looking through the periscope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
got it. Boom, baby. Like for me, you guys remember a show, The Real Adventures of Johnny Quest?
Yes.
mm-hmm.
All right, yeah, they would go to that virtual reality world.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was always so disappointed with virtual reality technology because none of it looked even remotely close to real life.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've gotten to the point where it can look realistic enough that it is a.
I would agree with that.
We'll take
I
a
think
swim
this
down that
time it has a
uncanny
chance
valley.
to stick around.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and also back then, like the amount of technology that had to be on your head or wired to it was ridiculous. And now we're to the point where, we can get down to either very minimal wires or wireless. I'm not sure which one Project Morpheus is going to be, but like it doesn't like HoloLens is completely self-contained around the head, like
Right.
But my biggest thing is like I'm not going to be an early adopter of Project Morpheus because developers have to prove to me that this is going to be something they're going to support. Like, because this isn't just we're going to release this and PlayStation really believes in it. It's going to have to be PlayStation really believes in it, Naughty Dog really believes in it, EA really believes in it. All of these different developers have to jump on board, or else I'm going to have this thing that's sitting there and I can only use it for a PlayStation exclusive.
I can see a wonderful world in which Naughty Dog comes out with an IP for Project Morpheus right away, and it's going to be beautiful.
I guess to my point more so than like just downing virtual reality altogether, like I see so much more potential in augmented reality presently.
Yeah.
Even with the technology advances that we have and how realistic things would look with virtual reality, I just see so much more potential, and I commend Xbox for seeing that and going that route because, like you said earlier, there are so many things outside of gaming that augmented reality can accomplish. Like virtual reality, there are things that you can accomplish, but there's no outside input that can be made within virtual reality. It's only whatever's programmed into the virtualness of the world that you're in. But with augmented reality, I'll go back to the example in the video. You see a plumber putting outside input into what you're seeing and putting into what's coming up in your bathroom as you're trying to repair your sink. Like that's just so much more useful thing than. And I guess games aren't intended to be useful in some respects, but as far as that goes, I'm a multitasker kind of guy. I like to buy multitaskers, and that to me would be that. So not to hate on Morpheus, but yeah.
Yeah, I think it definitely has more real life application, but augmented reality has more real life application. But ultimately, I don't see it being as good for gaming. Right now, out of the gates anyway, I can't imagine graphically it would be able to compete. And there's some augmented reality stuff you can mess with now, and it's kind of cool, but it's also, in a gaming way, it's kind of gimmicky. I can see the use outside of gaming, but like the DS has these little cards you can throw down and play these mini games, and it's pretty neat to see that projected on your environment. But gaming-wise, I think the VR is going to be cooler. But I agree with Luke that I'm not going to be an early adopter.
Of either. I don't.
Yeah,
think for me,
no way. The Kinect, I love the potential of the Kinect. We've talked about all the different things that could be used for. But when Xbox gave up and abandoned it to sell consoles a little better, that kind of spelled the end of Kinect being something that is used in gaming, besides outliers like Just Dance. Not that Just Dance is something no one plays. Besides random games
Right,
that
that
are
really
gonna-
utilize it. Yeah.
Zephyr Baby says the problem for VR machines, you need developers to design specific games for it, and we touched on that. Now, will that take time and funds away from the AAA titles that studios work on, or are companies like Valve, Microsoft going to get smaller studios to develop for it? And I think the interesting thing about that is, like, you have a studio like Rare, who did Banjo-Kazooie and those sorts of things.
Mm-hmm.
But then they got into Kinect Sports, and they kind of got pigeonholed as we're the Kinect developer. And really, it wasn't what Rare wanted. Like, a lot of the people that worked for Rare got discouraged by the fact that if they were going to talk about a new title, everyone assumed like it's going to be a Kinect title. And I think that's I don't know if it's necessarily different. I don't think developers are going to want to pigeonhole themselves into it. Like, it's going to have to be a VR experience that runs alongside, like, for a Naughty Dog Uncharted game. Like, it's got to run alongside of it. I'm in the world of Nathan Drake as Nathan Drake.
Well, I would think that they would start off, even the AAA studios would start off with a new IPs or something like that to kind of work their way into it slowly but surely.
Yeah.
Can you imagine PT as a VR game?
We
gosh.
have
We
we
talk- yeah.
have
Oh, yeah,
imagined
that's right,
PT
we
as a
have.
VR game.
You would die.
Yeah.
Like,
And
And that
hearts
would be
fail.
exactly what I wanted in a VR game, just a sheer and utter terror. I want to buy a packet of pens at Walmart when we go out later.
I'm gonna need
put-
that Dying Light.
I'm gonna need that Dying Light $300,000 copy. I'm gonna need a pair of swim goggles, and then we're gonna have a funky adventure when we get
Swim
out.
goggles?
He's gonna pee that much. He's gonna,
You can't use the
you can't use the goggles with the virtual reality headset on.
Oh, that's gonna because we don't have it right now. Those are gonna be my virtual reality headset. We're gonna
You're just
we're
pretend.
gonna play pretend.
I'm gonna get 6 inches for the TV.
It's
I'm
cosplay.
I'm gonna tape
it's
the television
cosplay.
to some poles attached to a hat I'm gonna wear.
I'm gonna run some wires from my goggles down to my Xbox. All right, last item on the list for the news. Halo Master Chief Collection has received a patch that has greatly improved party stability and matchmaking.
And
finally,
what a patch it is.
finally.
I've got a theory. It's a conspiracy.
Okay, I love it.
We all
Okay,
got,
I love it.
We all, okay, I love it. we all got that. We all got that trophy the other night for playing a game of Halo: The Master Chief Collection 3 months after it released, or after you first played it. We got it a couple weeks after it came out. They fixed the game almost totally. It's so much smoother than it ever has been before. 3 months after it came out, this was the plan the whole time. They gave us the shaft.
Let me add to your conspiracy because Microsoft just announced a Halo Master Chief Collection bundle. Like it comes packaged with it in a Halo box. They're like, we knew this thing wasn't going to work for 3 months because they didn't just turn around yesterday and were like, all right, time to bundle it with Master Chief Collection.
Now that
Oh,
it's
yeah, no
working.
doubt.
Yep. They knew. They were like, it's going to take us 115 days to get this thing working properly.
For real though, I haven't tried it yet, but I am so pumped that it works.
It's great.
Yeah,
We'll
we
have to do
played
it
It's
tonight or
great.
something.
You want to play tonight?
yes.
Okay. If I get my Ori and the Blind Forest review filmed and ready to go, then I'll jump on with you guys. You're free to play whatever you want. So, but it's working. It's working. All right.
You
Wild
guys can
speculation.
go play it.
What speculation?
What?
Just go ahead.
He's
That's
got to do it
awful.
again. Yes, no, he gets to do it again.
I didn't know. I
Don't
didn't know
do
you
it
were-
again.
I didn't
Don't
know
ever
you were
do it again.
continuing. I'm sorry.
I'll do
I was
it
really
again.
done.
I
I was
didn't
on my
mean to-
last 3 words.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Are we ready?
You already did it.
I'm gonna
All
do it
right.
again.
It was plenty.
Wild
It was plenty. It was
speculation!
plenty. It was plenty.
I hate that one. I
Wild
hate that one,
speculation?
too. I'm right there with you.
I'm gonna punch you in the brain.
I'm gonna
You
punch
do
you.
every time you sing that song.
I'm gonna punch you in the back of the face. All right, Xbox. This is according to an article from NeoWin. Xbox is working on a hardcore game controller. A hardcore game controller. I love the word hardcore because it makes it sound way lamer.
No, you're not hardcore.
You're not hardcore.
Unless you live hardcore.
Unless you live hardcore.
When the legend
of
of the
the
band
band
was
was
made
Oh, yeah.
That's gonna suck for everybody that was watching. All right. So what is gonna make this Xbox controller hardcore?
This hardcore Xbox controller will be a keyboard for your Xbox. Bam.
Yes. Welcome to the 65 button hardcore Xbox controller.
Can I do mine?
Yeah,
Can I do
go.
mine? This controller is gonna have. I get it.
If it's questionable, don't say.
No, it's not questionable. It's just I'm gonna laugh when I say it. I just have to.
It's not questionable. It's way over the line.
This controller is gonna have razor blades down the bottom of the hand grips, and they're gonna be tacks and stick up from the buttons.
Welcome to
And
Sadism
then
3 podcast.
Each time you die in a game, there's gonna be lime and salt deposits that come out of the controller. Only the hardcore of hardcore fans can play with this controller.
Don't play Dark Souls with that controller.
You know how the controller kind of loops down to some points here?
Uh-huh.
In the point is a needle that sticks straight into your vein and delivers your caffeine on one hand
Dang it!
and your hydration on the other.
I hate you. Because mine was the same thing.
Jew cremation's back.
Well, we can never say his name again.
Don't say it.
Mine was that on the bottom it would have a threaded input where you would be able to twist your Mountain Dew bottle, and then an IV was going to go directly into your arm. This is why we need to get married.
Lauren, got some bad news for you.
Go ahead.
Okay, so you got Kinect, right? Kinect,
Right.
Kinect works, right?
Right.
Xbox has got a really good Kinect, like a thing that is really good. That's good. It works better than the PlayStation camera. Okay, I'm stopping with it. They're gonna implant button commands in each of your fingers. So one finger is one of the buttons. So like your pinky would be like your right trigger. I don't know why your pinky would be that.
I'm
but
pretty sure there are more buttons than fingers on the hand.
no, maybe not. A, B.
Oh my gosh.
X,
Move
Y,
on. Keep going.
Right trigger, left trigger,
Keep
right
going.
bumper, left bumper, select, and start. That's all you need. Then
My
your
God.
hands move the analog.
It's a keyboard of one line. Of one line.
I'll be playing games all day.
What if it's just an old school Mad Cat style? There's just a switch that turns on turbo.
Yeah, it's
it.
it's actual like it's an Xbox like registered modded controller.
That'd make me so mad.
They
I'd
make a
quit.
lot of those.
I'd
Actually.
never play again.
It's just that they did a poll and they realized that hardcore gamers hate their controller to vibrate, so they take the vibrating function out. Everything else is the same. They just took the vibrating function out.
That's how actually when your controller runs low on batteries, it actually does stop the vibrations.
Maybe. As soon as he said batteries, it made me think of something. Maybe it's a controller that runs off of 38 D-cell batteries, so you never run out of juice. But then when you do, you have to go take out a loan to pay for the.
It runs solely off of your passion for games.
It's a controller that runs off of Google Fiber.
It's a pet. You have to feed it and water it and like take it out for walks.
I'm
and,
just
like-
using this cat, like just pulling his legs to control them.
It comes packaged with a girlfriend.
Wow.
Yeah, right.
They would sell 1 billion controllers.
I don't know. That's
Lars and the Real Girl style.
gaming thing.
What do you guys think in the comments? Let us know what you think Xbox means by they are working on a hardcore game controller.
By the way, to all listeners that aren't in the Twitch stream, when I said Jew cremation is back earlier, that's just someone's name in the stream. I'm not going down that road.
We
You-
just
you
said
went-
don't
you
ever
Brought
say his
more
name again.
like light back to the situation.
You went down the road twice.
Once,
Might as well just go build a house down the
Twice.
road.
3 times a lady.
All right. Let's move on to. We have a review for Ori and the Blind Forest. We can't do that right now. We're still under embargo, but it's going to be included in our YouTube channel. It's going to be included on the audio podcast. Go find us on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, and you will hear our thoughts for Ori and the Blind Forest. We'll also put it on youtube.com/player3podcast. I'm going to get Diz to put all those links in the chat. But that will be there. So we can't talk about that. But I did get a chance to play White Knight, which is the survival horror game that is available on PlayStation right now. It's coming to Xbox One. It is black and white, kind of noir style. And I started, and it's kind of like Resident Evil, the first couple Resident Evils, in the sense of it has like a fixed camera, and you're exploring the world, you're picking stuff up. And as I first started playing, I was like, okay, well, this is just creepy. Like it's just like they were creating a creepy atmosphere here. And I was excited because I'm not a huge fan of jump scares. And then I got my first jump scare and peed my pants. But the game, I haven't played a lot of it, so I don't want to speak a ton to it. But it does a really good job generating this creepy atmosphere. The jump scares are not cheap, I don't think. Like they belong where they're at. The I was really nervous at the beginning with the movement because, like, at the beginning, your character is limping. Luckily, very quickly on that limp goes away and you can kind of move freely. It's all about resource management because if the room goes dark, you're in a lot of trouble. So you have to have matches to light the way or figure out a way to light the room. And so review in a word. I meant to think of a word. I don't know what.
You didn't even think of a word.
Nope,
Scary.
it's $15. Go pick it up. Review.
Scary.
Review in a word. Scary.
Noir.
It's scary. Noir. All right. So now we move on to everyone's favorite segment, not wild speculation. The random question of the week.
Random question of the week for this month, for this week.
Different harmony this time.
Stupid. It doesn't even make sense.
All right, this is actually a viewer question, and I'm going to leave this up to you guys. And if you have any questions you would like us to answer, go ahead and ask those in the Twitch stream, and we will handle those on the Player 3 Podcast Post Lounge. We got a couple that we want to get to. All right, this question comes from Jonathan, friend of the show. It says, "Hello, gentlemen. I have 2 questions for you this week. First question: do you have a game? Do any of you have an old game that is your go-to game, and you can just pick up and play where you last played it? Like pick it up where you last played."
Donkey Kong Country 2 Diddy's Conquest. Love
Really?
that game. It's a lot of fun. It's an old school platformer. I never 100%ed it. So sometimes I'll go back and be like, all right, what did I miss? I don't remember any of these levels. Better just play through all of them. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And you didn't get to be Donkey Kong. You were the smaller ones, Diddy and Dixie. And I like Dixie's, she twirl her hair and could like glide through the air.
Yeah,
Which
I
doesn't
remember
make
her.
sense
The
'cause,
helicopter.
Yeah, I feel like your neck would snap and you'd die, but you know, it's
It's
basically
Willa. Didn't Willa Smith prove that wrong with the?
You're right.
I run my
You're
hand
right.
back and forth.
But fun game.
Possibly.
I love it.
All right, Seth.
I don't know, man. No, really. I mean, I haven't really held on to a console in a long time, and I don't really have anything that I really go back and play.
Ben.
I had a couple that went through my head, but I would say the game that I've wanted to play the most, to go back and play the most. I don't know if that answers the question, but the game I've wanted to go back and play the most has been Skyrim. I mean, I talk about that game all the time. That's all I want to do is go play Skyrim. I'm gonna buy the Legendary Edition new today because they don't have it used at GameStop, so I'm gonna get the $30 version, just so I have it. But
I'll tell you what. The one I could think of to go back and play, if I could go back and play it, and I could if I borrowed Ben's DS, would be Majora's Mask. It was the most frustrating and painful game I've ever played. I loved it.
See, neither of these questions really apply to me because I am not the kind of person who goes back and replay stuff. I don't like watching a movie for a second time. I don't even really like watching a movie with a person who has watched the movie, even if I haven't seen it.
Haven't you seen like the second season of Game of Thrones like 5 times?
There are things that I'll go back. Like there's specific things I'll go back and watch a lot of. But I mean, for the most part, if I experience it once, that's enough, and I don't really go back. But here's the second part to his question: have any of you returned to a game because of nostalgic feelings for it, thinking it was a great game, but when you booted it up, it was actually horrible? Like you kind of romanticized the memory of it, and then went back and played it, and it sucked.
All right, I thought long and hard about this. Donkey Kong Country 2 Diddy's. I know. There's not a game that I went back and I hated for gameplay reasons. I couldn't think of a single one. Anytime I've gone back from nostalgia, I've been like, oh yeah, my nostalgia's right on. This game's the best. But graphically, on the N64, there was a game, James Bond, The World Is Not Enough. And
I was supposed to say GoldenEye.
No. That was always graphically terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But The World Is Not Enough was a vast improvement over GoldenEye. And I remember thinking, man, these people look really realistic. And viewers, you'll just have to pull up your own image, but I'll show you guys what the graphics look like.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Is that a picture? Is that a photograph?
It's a screenshot of the game, and it's pretty
Is that a
horrible.
dog? What's holding that?
That's James
poster?
Bond's hand. Oh, poster. What?
Oh.
I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, but
There's a pre-rendered nail.
whatever they did at the time looked amazing, but it did not age well.
See. It looks like a horse down there, but it's actually. Did they make?
It's actually Larry's thumb.
No. It looks like a black hand, but it's James Bond's hand.
Is Spider-Man in that picture?
Yes.
It is terrible. It's a very terrible picture for the viewers that can't see that picture.
All right, Seth.
Oh man.
So
Ben, go please.
I had mine and then I lost it. Let me think for just a second. Oh, okay, I got it. No, I don't. Yeah, I do.
oh my gosh.
I'm trying to think of what I said the other night because I answered this question last night. I can't remember what I know. I got it. All right, so yeah, we tried out PlayStation Now. This is kind of a recent one for me. We tried out PlayStation Now when it first came out, and I had all these games that I was like, man, these look awesome. I want to go back and play them. They look super cool. I started playing Resident Evil 5 because I had fond memories of that game, and it was awful. It was really terrible. The controls were super like unresponsive. They were like really, really choppy. My connection wasn't that bad. I was playing at I think I was playing at like noon or something, and so it wasn't that I was high traffic or anything like that on PlayStation Now. So everything was good on that respect. It was just everything was so choppy and like you moved around. The aiming system was weird. I just didn't like it. I didn't like the experience, and I was really geared up to play it, and then I was like, oh, this is terrible.
I think mine. I really like a lot of games, so it's really hard for me to answer. But I remember going back a couple of years ago, I played the Silent Hill HD collection on my 360. And the games are still great. The games are awesome. But going now from, several console generations later, what did Silent Hill 2 come out on the PS2? Mm-hmm. I think. You go back and you don't really realize how much just simple things like the way we play, just the way that we play games with our controllers has changed. Being able to operate multiple cameras, or being able to look around in and of itself, or maneuver a camera around a person from a third-person angle. That kind of back to Resident Evil, which is part of the reason I haven't gone back and played the HD remaster, is really because it's frustrating not to be in control of the camera at all times and choose how you view a certain situation. Mm-hmm. So that kind of going back and playing those games, kind of, I still enjoyed the games, but it's kind of bittersweet.
Again, I can't answer. I just don't like going back and playing stuff. I mean, I went back to play NFL 2K5 one time, thinking like, man, this game was awesome. And I mean, the things that people talk about being good about it are good about it. But everyone that loves that game talks about it like it was just this complete and total awesome experience. But I went back and played it, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, and it was good, but it wasn't as good as everyone makes it out to be. That was definitely a game that it benefits from how much people love to hate on Madden. Not that it was a bad game by any means, but anyway. So that does it for the audio podcast.
Are you going to share some of the viewer responses? You asked them to comment.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let's see. Jew Cremation says Shrek Super Slam was my favorite game, but wow, Google it. It was amazingly bad. Eric Green says he still has his PS2, plays Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. I still have a copy of San Andreas. I don't have a PlayStation 2, but it was the hot coffee edition, so I couldn't trade it into.
They're cheap now, man. You can probably get you one.
I'm good. N64 game called Army Men, Sarge's Heroes. I played the crap out of that on PC.
That was a lot of fun.
I played that a lot too.
They had a really cool 64 game that was kind of like Army Men. It wasn't like Army Men, but you fought with tanks. It was called Battle Tanks, or no, it wasn't. It was called Tank something. Anyways, it was awesome.
So yeah, thank you guys for your responses. I think that was all that we really had. Yeah. Yep, that was all the viewer responses that we had. Thank you guys for this. So we're going to be done with the audio portion of the podcast, but stick around for the Player 3 Podcast After Party Lounge. It's awesome. And if you want to go watch it on YouTube, if you're catching this late, youtube.com/Player3 Podcast, you don't have to hit stop on there. So we're going to go around the circle and do our stuff that we normally do.
Go fast. If we wrap up in exactly 45 seconds, we hit 1:30
Okay,
exactly.
I'm Hubom Trady. You can find me at Xbox Live, Hubom Trady, all one or 3 words. You can find me at PSN, Hubom Trady, all 1 word. I'm also on Twitch at Hubom Trady, all 1 word. Thank you.
My name's Seth. You can find me at the PlayStation Network at Buttzors. That's BUTTZORZ, Buttzors, or on the Xbox Live at Dongzors, DONGZORZ, Dongzors. I got a monopoly on the whole lower body thing.
20 seconds.
That's all I do.
Lair Hunts Zombies on Twitch and Twitter. LAR Hunts Zombies.
TK from Antioch. You can also find Player 3 Podcast. Search us on the internet. Twitch.tv/Player3 Podcast. At Player 3 Podcast. All of those sorts of things. We are
7,
Player 3 Podcast.
6,
Player 3 Podcast!
P3P.
P. 3. P.
1, 0.
You're the best.
Around! None of us ever keep you down.
You're the best. Around. All right.
I need to make a phone call. Be right back.
Okay, you want to do your sultry voice and welcome people to the Player 3 Podcast After Party Lounge?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Player 3 Podcast After Party.
The after party.
Welcome. You've all been made to be part of us.
Make your phone call. Make it. You are all part of us now.
This is
That's creepy as crap.
this is our opportunity to interact with you, answer the questions you want us to answer, and talk about the stuff that you want us to talk about. Oh, Leanna Wallace, she spammed something.
No,
And
Leanna.
she got her messages deleted.
I don't like this
So
Moobot
is-
thing.
Is she kicked out? Or
No, she's not kicked out. She can keep commenting. She just can't keep saying the same thing over and over again.
What did she say?
I don't know. I think it was hype. I think that's all it said. So we did get a question in, and I mean, Ben's not here, so we'll wait for him to come back. But if you are here with us, please take a second to go follow us on Twitter at Player3 Podcast. Check out our website, player3podcast.com. That's where all of our Ori stuff will be later this evening. And so yeah, if you have anything you want us to talk about, any questions, we feel free to ask them, and we will answer them. Good show, guys. That was a good show.
It was good.
Seth, you were good today.
Was I good?
You were good today. Larry,
I feel a
you were
little.
pretty good too.
I've got a little bit of a cold, so I felt like the energy kind of ebbed and flowed sometimes.
Were you more inspired because of this awkward relationship you have with one of our viewers?
It's not really awkward. It's more so perfect than anything.
I see her once a week. I do what I want. Outside of that, it's pretty great.
Did we? Was it you guys that I was talking about that episode of Seinfeld where George had a relationship with a prison inmate? I'm guessing no.
No.
We'll talk.
Oh, that's also kind of a. Is it Psych has that theme going on? Oh, I meant to give the shout outs to all of our new followers. So if you're in the stream, hit that follow button.
Thank you, Zephyr Baby, for your efforts.
It's very nice. We'll pay you the same.
Your tweets. Leanna wants to have a song now for
Leanna,
her.
I've been trying to work it out. I can't.
Leanna, Seth loves you like a burning flame of sun.
Yes! As opposed to
That's
those suns that
all
aren't
the
on
sun
fire.
is
Ice
on
sun.
fire for you, Leanna. You're welcome, Seth.
Thank you.
I feel like I can't top that, Leanna. I'm sorry.
I'm not kidding. We have
I'm sorry, babe.
we have a very what's the word I'm looking for?
Musical?
No. This has nothing to do with what was going on. We what is it when you
Hydrophobic.
What it's a phobia when you don't like Jews. What is that? What is that called? When you don't like Jews?
When you're
Nazism?
anti-Semitic.
Anti-Semitism.
Yeah, we apparently we have a very anti-Semitic viewership because we just got followed by Jokey Nazi. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right.
Let me see.
It's right there. He just commented
That's
right
not how
here.
you spell Nazi.
No, not even a little. But
Leanna,
anyway.
just don't go
Nazi.
following. Don't go following for Ben. He is married.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
married. I'm not interested, Leanne. I'm sorry. I was just singing for my buddy Seth here.
Leanna, I'm gonna work up.
You
I'm
call
gonna,
me
I'm gonna,
Match.com.
baby, I'm gonna cook up something nice for you, and then we're gonna.
Connor Baby now?
Oh my god.
She could literally be a 12-year-old, and you're. I don't
That-
know
that
how
is-
old you are, Leanna, but
That
she
is
could
very
literally.
true.
I mean,
You should calm yourself, temper your
Maybe
expectations.
I
you
don't know
might
if you
be being
remember-
catfished.
I don't know if you remembered last week we had that whole thing worked out where I could say I thought I was getting catfished. I'm sorry. That's what I was expecting.
I came here convinced this was a 45-year-old guy. It's not my fault she was telling the truth.
oh, I don't think that's a Jew Nazi.
What?
Wait, you said what did you call him? What did you say his
What
name
is
was?
it? Anyway,
Steal your own.
Captain Desdenova says he'll fix you a nice glass of Pepsi. You missed the word delicious. She's a 60-year-old granny. And steal your own heart.
Well, that's what Seth's after, I think.
I never had a grandma growing up, so that would be great, actually, Leanna.
Let me explain why we call you. He can fix you a nice, delicious glass of Pepsi and steal your daughter's heart, ladies and gentlemen. Doug Martin. First of all, his name's Seth. Doug's his middle name. His social security number is. We're all about giving your personal information.
243.
You got to do what you got to do, my dog.
His social security number is 841732865.
But Seth is not only a waiter; he is the waiter, like the
somebody's
best
the-
waiter of all time.
He's excellent.
But he gets hit on. He gets offered people's daughters all the time at work.
It's
Would you
really
like
true.
to share a story?
There was this one time. What was the first incident? Oh, I know. This sling blade looking cat comes into the restaurant one time. We live in Martinsville. We live in Martinsville.
You got pretty mouth.
We live French fried taters. We live in Martinsville, Virginia, where we have a NASCAR track. I don't think any of us in here are NASCAR fans, are we? No. Okay, but anyway, I
You can turn left better than me.
I thought
Got my
this.
pit boss butters here.
I thought this guy was from out of town. He's not. But they come in and man, I really hope they don't listen to the podcast.
Go ahead.
I highly doubt it.
Even if they do.
But anyway,
Go ahead. You got it.
okay. I was reading what Leanna said. I'm sorry.
You're so worried about it.
You don't want your reputation to be sullied in front of her.
No. I lost my train of thought though.
You were in a restaurant.
Basically, they were telling me a story about something. The girl had been in the hospital, yada yada yada, and the guy was like, "Hey, how old are you, young man?" And I think at the time I was 20. I think I was 22, maybe turning 23. I don't know, but anyway.
Don't get lost in the details.
Yeah. The devil's in there. But basically, he was like, "Oh, that's almost how old you are, honey. You're 21." And I go, "Oh God, I know what direction this is going in." So I had to get out of there real fast. And one other time, she was 21 though, so that's something. The next time that happened, the girl was 13, and then that's just bad parenting. That's all that is.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's why we call him. He can fix you a nice, delicious glass of Pepsi and steal your daughter's heart. Anyway, okay. Here was the question that we got. This was from Lusty Kerr, I think. I don't know. Oh no, I was thanking people for following. Oh dang it.
Thank you for
Unlock my
following
phone.
us. I'm gonna sing it to the tune of "I Got My Spine."
Okay,
Got our new
I am
followers.
Slug Eye. Thank you. Prince's Best, J Kennedy 35, Furry _fighter, XX Kupo, Frown on Face, Chillionaire NW, XX DJ 1FCXX. I already said I wouldn't say his name. Thank you guys for the follow. Also, if you are interested in playing fantasy baseball with us, we have a league going. Go ahead, hit us up at Player3Podcast on Twitter. We'll get an email sent out to you so that you can join our fantasy league. Here's the question from Lusty Kerr. Go ahead.
And you don't even need to know baseball because I can't name one player. Is Ken Griffey Jr. still a baseball player?
Skin Griffey Jr.
Is Ken.
That's my stage name, actually.
Is Michael Jordan still playing baseball?
Yeah.
Is the steroid guy who hit all the home runs?
A-Rod.
Did
No,
you say
before him.
steroid?
Every one of
Steroid guy.
every Major League Baseball player.
No, he started the trend.
Barry Bonds?
No, it started with an M, I think.
Mark McGuire?
That's the one.
Babe Ruth.
Yes.
He ate a bunch of hot dogs and beer. That was his steroids. All right, Lusty Kerr, if you were forced to play one game for the rest of your life, what game would you pick? Now, does this mean like nonstop, I can't put it down, or just I can only play one game for the rest of my life?
I tell you this, this is it. This is all
This
you
is
can
it.
do.
Okay.
You're on a desert island. You have an Xbox or
No,
a
that's
console of
different.
your choice.
Entirely
and
different
you
question.
have one game you can play.
All right, Ben, what's the
Oh,
one
do I
game
have
you
to answer
pick?
it?
Yep.
Gosh, I don't know. Crap. This is a hard question.
You got an Xbox 360, a PS4, and a GameCube. You got to kill one, marry one. Beep.
That's weird.
I'd kill the GameCube.
Of course, Ben's gonna answer.
I'm a simple man. I'm a simple man with simple needs.
Simple Jack.
My game of choice. Probably any of the Pokemon games, like any of the new Pokemon games. I play a ton of. You can play that game a billion different times. There are a billion different ways. So I would probably do that.
All right, Seth.
I forgot the question.
You have one game. If that's too hard, you can pick a series.
Oh, I didn't know that was an option.
I'm sorry. One game.
Star
for the rest of your
Wars
life.
Shadow of the Empire for the Nintendo 64.
Okay.
Can I
does
re-answer then?
Yeah. Yeah, my fault. I didn't read the whole
The
question.
Pokemon
I'm a terrible
series.
host.
The Pokemon series.
Oh, okay. he
I
just
thought
went
you
from
were
one-
really going to change the answer.
yeah, he went from one game to like 45 games.
Yeah, I
I feel
know.
like there's a billion Pokemon games.
Yeah,
Right.
like Pokemon Stadium.
Now a question. If I pick the Mario series, does that include the weird offshoots, Mario Sports and Mario
No.
Race? Oh, okay.
One developer.
Can I pick two?
Yes, Ben Hankins, go for it.
I can't decide between Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy. That's one game with a weird name, which is a great.
Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy.
Yeah,
You
it
can
might
play
be
on your
Jedi
Mac
Knight
now.
2 Jedi Academy,
You can play on your Mac now too.
but it was an RP. It was a Star Wars RPG. It was a lot of fun. Not an MMO, just a regular RPG.
Yeah.
I can't decide between that and the Metroid series. That gives you a lot of material to play with.
Here's my question: what if it's a series? Like, if it's a series, do I get to play all the games that are coming later on, or do I have to stop at the latest one and I can
Sure,
only
you
play
can play
what's
all the
on?
ones.
I feel like that's too easy.
later ones are good. You can do that.
Okay, 2K. Yeah, NBA 2K.
Any? Oh,
What
just
if you
NBA
couldn't?
2K?
I would play NBA 2K.
Okay.
I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If I had to pick one game I was going to play for the rest of my life, it would be NBA 2K. Craig Jen says, if you was an animal,
All right, we see you're from Martinsville as well.
what would you be and why?
One time a weird kid in my high school got asked this question, and he said, I would be a bugbear so that I could die and come back to life.
A what?
He had an
Did you
accent,
say
but he
bug bass?
bugbear.
And was
No,
he English?
that was his accent, but
Was he
he
English?
no,
He was West Virginian.
he was completely raised by
Born and
American
bred.
people and just had an accent.
Well, there was one time I was at the beach and I pretended to be called Nigel. And
That's a really good accent, actually.
Oh,
You
thank
should
you,
carry-
bloody-
You should carry it out for the rest of after party. I'm part of the Beatles.
What's I don't.
We come
know if I
from
should ask that out
England.
loud.
Don't.
Don't ask
We
that
are
out loud.
young.
Got
We
it.
are young.
I don't get that.
if I was an animal, I think I'd be a common house cat because I really enjoy
Big pet.
being lazy as hell, and
After party, it's
not a cuss
okay.
word in Britain.
It's okay, it's after
it's not.
party.
It's English. It's all right. I really enjoy just laying around and doing nothing all day long and watching Netflix. And if I could just do that all day long, that'd be great. And get fed twice a day, maybe more. I'd go hunt birds if I wanted to do something really.
We are not making.
What is happening?
We are not making fun of Britain. We are respecting you by using
By
your.
very rapidly mimicking your accent.
If I had to be an animal, I'd be a pterodactyl because they are extinct.
If I had to be an animal, I would be a pterodactyl. That's P-O-T-O.
Why doesn't anyone hear a pterodactyl when it uses the bathroom?
The P is silent.
The P is not. My pterodactyl is not silent.
I'd be a wolf because they're pretty intense creatures.
What's the one that can use camouflage? Is there an animal that can use
It's a
camouflage?
chameleon.
Chameleon. I'll be a chameleon because I want to be like the guy who's hiding out in the corners.
Lots of animals use camouflage.
I want to be Derek Zoolander in the mines in that movie when he kind of opens he's like all covered he's covered in coal and he opens his eyes and you just see white eyes against the black backdrop and surprise.
Zephyr baby, as an Englishman or Englishwoman.
Is he English?
He's
Oh.
a man. That's Jonathan. That's the guy who sends us questions.
Oh.
Right, mate.
Are you being sarcastic or did Seth actually nail it? It sounds good to me, but I've got American ears.
Yeah.
A lot of these American cats, they don't know what they're talking about. I think I've got the black lung pop.
That's Sibo Seacrest. That guy's the man.
Hey, Sibo.
If I was I would be Rob Schneider from the movie The Animal. Not because I particularly enjoyed that flick, but just because he's probably still making some sort of royalty off of that, and I would get the money for it.
Interesting answer.
So that would be who I would pick. Rob Schneider is your stapler.
No, he actually nailed it. Sweet.
All right, Seth, you're English now.
I
Which
think
is great because your on-screen lover here is from London.
And you also like write.
Landon.
You're also a literary major, so that works out for you pretty good. Like you'd be like a very angsty writer in the cabin, speaking English and stuff. It'd be awesome.
I'm an angsty writer speaking English in a cabin.
Yeah, an English accent.
We're
Speaking
surrounded
English.
by wood right now. I'm pretty sure that's what we're doing.
Speaking the Kang's language.
Leanna Wallace is really enjoying posting stuff that we don't really want to say. We don't really want to read.
Leanna.
Chupacabra is an animal.
Yeah, it's
Just
an
spelled
animal.
differently.
That's why she is the bae. She is the bae.
Oh my gosh, dude.
You
She's
are the
literally-
bae.
You're
Oh,
literally
she
getting-
told you how to become bae up here. Hold on, I'm
You're
gonna.
literally
I
getting
know.
that.
It
I
was,
wrote her a
Writing
song.
a
it was
song
about
for
no. It has to be me that writes the song. I'm gonna bring in a guitar.
You wrote it. You
next
just
week.
gave me the. You telepathically sent it
and
to me.
I'm just gonna.
All of her messages got deleted because she spammed the chat.
Oh, no.
Moobot didn't like it.
But it was
so.
it was writing the song, and it's gonna be a love song, and it's gonna be surprisingly eloquent, and it's gonna blow your mind. You'll
I
be-
thought you were going to say erotic. If you'd have stopped the sentence, made us
Now
all guess,
I didn't
that'd
think
have
I
been
could say erotic, but that's not really what I was going. It could be.
We should do our best impressions since we don't have any other questions. Because I really
saw.
want to hear Uncle Mika.
Did you watch The Talking Dead last night?
I can do a Michael Keaton impression, but it's purely visual. Hold on.
It's okay. This only goes up on YouTube. Go ahead.
Do you see it? Do you see it?
Okay, hold on.
Did you watch The Talking Dead last night, Luke?
No, the first part.
The guy that played Aaron did. The guy that
It's
played
all
Aaron
the
did
eyebrows.
best
He's
Matthew
got
McConaughey
weird
impression,
eyebrows, man.
Other than Jim
Oh, I
Carrey.
did see that.
You did see
Yeah.
that part?
Yeah,
It was
he
great.
was awesome. Craig's going to ask us another question here. But okay,
He said,
our best impression.
fine. Here's another one. You don't have to ask the
I mean, if
question.
you're
You don't have,
offended
you don't
by it,
have
I mean-
to.
If you're offended by our banter and our impressions
hit it.
and by his Michael Keaton face,
If I have to ask another question, I almost said the word.
I can do Batman.
if you guys had to pick one of you to be killed, who would it be? Do we just want to answer that on 3?
Yes.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Me.
Seth.
Me.
Ben. I'd pick Ben.
Me.
I think someone else. You said me. I said Seth. We kind of so.
I said me. I'd die for you, kids.
Yeet.
I'd pick Ben. I know you're trying to get me to feel bad about it, but I'd pick Ben.
You're right. I wouldn't kill myself for you guys.
Who would you kill? Who would you kill then? Ben?
It depends on what day. The day that you. I feel awkward saying it out loud because I didn't want you to say it at all, but you said it. Oh, I know. The day I found out that you told everyone that I sent in an audition tape for the
I
new
did
Star
not
Wars
tell
movie.
everybody. I told Lauren. She is
You
my
sent an
wife.
audition tape for what?
She is an extension
I would have
of me.
murdered you on
You
that
just told
day.
everybody.
You just told everybody.
I'm fine now.
You just told the whole internet.
Obviously, I didn't get the part.
He tried out for Star Wars.
Yeah.
And Ben, I would
Everyone
just,
could try.
I wouldn't kill you out of any feeling I have for you.
It's just the funny the funny way to do it. Right?
No, well, I mean, it's not even just the funny way. It's just the fact that if I've got to pick somebody, it's not going to be me. And name in a hat, I'd just pick you. Like, if it was just if we dropped 5 slips of paper in the hat,
All of them
and
would
all
say
of them
Ben.
said Ben, and I drew it out, I'd have to kill you. That's the way.
If we were doing that whole thing, I would make sure that every slip of paper said Ben, and then.
I mean,
Plus, I feel like you'd have some really good input on how to do it as I'm doing it.
Makes sense, I guess.
Like if you could just hang me up by this rope right here.
Isn't that how that would go? Like if I was set to kill you, you would have input in how I do it.
I'd agree. Yeah.
Bye, Eric.
You
Enjoy
seem
your
really
tacos.
offended.
No, I think it's fine. What?
Oh, Zephyr Baby tried out for Star Wars too, so you can suck it.
I don't understand
Suck
why you're mad at me about this.
it!
I told Lauren. I didn't tell everybody. You told the world. I told.
There came
everybody.
a point where I was okay with
Lucas
telling
is really
everybody.
upset right now. I'm going to narrate that Lucas is very upset. Larry is not making the problem any better.
All right, I changed my answer. I'll kill this.
They both.
What if they were
really
sportscasters for everyday conversation, like
a
just
lot
your
of
everyday
anger
lives?
issues.
Who
Lucas
would you
sits on
hire
the
to
couch
narrate
right
your
now.
life?
There are less. There are
Morgan
less
Freeman.
flies
Why
in
is that
this
even a
room
question?
In
All right, you
Florida.
hire Morgan Freeman. Who
Yes.
would you?
How many dogs do you see in this room?
Welcome to the Player 3 Podcast After Party Lounge. You can find us on player3podcast.com and all sorts of other places. This is not the actual show. This is the after show.
Can you
I just got
name-
done telling Ben that I would kill him. Everybody else picked themselves because they're a bunch of liars. And
Well, no. Mine was not out of like a self-sacrifice. It was more like a self-loathing kind of thing.
I think with their, I think you have something going there, Craig. It's okay because I don't even like these guys. I don't know why I'm doing this podcast.
I'm only here for the paycheck.
I'm here to bring the color.
What? What did he just?
We make $0, by the way.
Yeah, $0.
So every time I joke about our salary, that's
I
the
would
joke.
get Jerry Seinfeld to narrate my life.
And
Yeah?
then Seth
Who would you
talked
get to
about
narrate
getting
your life,
Jerry
Ben?
What's the
Seinfeld to
deal
narrate
with
his
it?
life. I would probably get I don't know.
Can I?
I had Will Forte narrate my Waze app for a while there. That was kind of cool.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd probably get Michael Scott, formerly
When
known
you say
as
Michael
Seth
Scott,
Carell.
You don't mean
Seth Carell?
Yeah, Seth Carell.
That's my name, except for the Carell part.
That's what I want. Seth Carell.
I'm. Oh, really?
That's who I want. I want Seth Carell.
Sorry for the
So
sound.
if you can't find Seth Carell, then I guess I just can't have a narrator.
There is no Seth Carell in the world. If you're Seth Carell sitting here,
No, I got it. Who's the guy that? Jim Carrey does an impression of? Matthew McConaughey. Yeah, that's what I'd get to do. My voice.
I would pick because they follow you around and narrate, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
So like that movie Stranger Than Fiction?
I'm not allowed to answer this question.
So I'm gonna pick Kate Beckinsale, but
He answered for you.
only to make every interaction I have over at Larry's house incredibly awkward. That's who I'm picking.
Gosh, I'm not angry.
Huh?
I'm not angry.
But your wife is. I agree with Captain James Spader.
To get a divorce.
The after party lounge is getting everyone in trouble, and by everyone I mean me.
Lucas is getting his life narrated by Kate Beckinsale.
How are you gonna get in trouble for me picking? Kate
Cause
Beckinsale.
I just made it super awkward by singing over top of this awkward situation.
All right, I think we're done. If you could lock someone in a room to torment them for a day, who would you choose?
Is this like a sexual thing or is it?
What? No, no, no!
We're gonna have to edit that one out.
Probably.
You said erotic earlier.
I guess we're done with this podcast.
I changed my answer. I would kill Seth.
The after party is
I would also
over.
kill Seth. I would also lock Seth in a room to torture him.
Does it have to be somebody in this room, or can it just be
Anybody.
anybody?
Torment.
Lock in a room to torment. Who's somebody I really hate?
I want to say something so bad. What?
Really hate.
I think you're. I don't know what just happened. I think
Your
Lauren's
wife
going over to.
yelled something?
My wife is going to your wife's house.
Okay. My wife?
Yeah.
I would lock.
Leanna's going.
I would lock Kid Rock in a room to be tormented for all eternity.
Yeah. That was a really.
But he was born free.
He is now tormented
He's
forever.
gonna die not free.
I'm locked in a basement. I'm not free anymore. It's a basement. It's a cold, wet basement, and there's Iron Maidens everywhere. He has to sleep on nails, and then every morning.
You see what I'm saying? If I picked to kill Ben, he would have it all. He'd have like a 60-page document for me to go through to make sure I
Every
do it
morning,
properly.
his eyes are plucked out by ravens, and his insides are eaten by evil birds, and then he regenerates.
You've got ravens, and then you've got evil birds.
Well, it's like the kind of the monopoly on evil birds when he said ravens, so I had to make a different evil bird.
Crows.
You have to pick one kind of bird to make evil. Make synonymous with evil.
Bald eagles,
Vultures.
because America's evil.
What?
You just messed up now, boy.
We're from England. This is an English podcast.
He's just saying things now.
Y'all are going on the terrorist list.
Ben's on the terrorist list.
It's been on the terrorist list.
Josh Lee's a terrorist.
And now I would pick to kill.
So there was this guy we went to college with, and he thought that the government was constantly listening to everything we say through our cell phones, so we would just pick up our cell phones from time to time and be.
Half Baked has inspired me.
I,
Half Baked has
um,
inspired
real
me. Half Baked has inspired me. So instead of Iron Maiden's like the torture trap, there's gonna be a 24/7 like playback of all of Nickelback's music. 24/7 as long
Look,
as it can
dude,
go.
nobody deserves that.
Look at this photograph. Look at this photograph. Kid Rock. Every
I'm
time you
thinking
do it makes me laugh
If I
because
could
I'm
torture
tormenting you.
anyone, it would be Simeon, the guy from college.
I'm transcending.
Where he has this voice that sounds very much like this. Like I don't even know how to describe his voice, but deeper than mine. But if he was tortured all day long, I think it would sound like, "Ow,
That doesn't feel good.
why are you torturing me? I feel like this is very messed up."
I'm transcending.
Who's Angelina Jolie's dad? God has more needs more cowbell.
John Voight. That's not Angelina Jolie. John Voight is Angelina Jolie's father. Christopher Walken is a totally different guy than who you were talking about.
What? All right, there's this.
If
app
I was
you need
Christopher
to
Walken,
download.
I would want to meet Christopher Walken to answer that question. Christopher Walken
That's the worst Christopher Walken accent.
or Christoph Waltz.
I
love Christoph Waltz.
to be Christopher Walken because
I need more cowbell.
I got a prescription.
I would pick.
Swag.
James Blunt.
my life is brilliant.
Stop. Just stop.
My love
I-
is pure.
Stop!
I saw an angel.
She smiled at me on the
I have
She
what
was
I
another
call
man.
the throat punch list, and it's musicians who've made me so mad that I just want to punch them in the throat. He's
I've
the one that
got a
started it,
plan.
because I just wanted to knock his voice back down where it belongs.
You're beautiful. You're beautiful.
I'm gonna kill myself on this podcast.
I could see from my face that I was flying high.
I would pick me. I would pick me. Just to make up for.
To meet yourself?
No, not to meet me. We aren't talking about people we'd meet.
Yeah, I thought we were talking about the famous people.
No, we're talking about people we would want to put in a room to get tortured.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
I would
moved on.
pick me, but that's just to make up for the time that I said I'd kill Ben. I feel bad.
Why do you?
I'd
feel
kill
bad?
Ben, but then I beat the crap out of myself
That's
because
the,
I felt pretty bad.
That's the
about
go-to
it.
answer.
Luke,
The go-to answer.
Luke feels bad like once every 3 months. So
You get me to get killed, so when he's putting the knife in me, it takes a while to get through all the layers of fat, so you guys can get away.
You're the one saying all this now.
I just want to say it before somebody else says it, so I don't.
No one was gonna say
feel
it.
like Fat Amy on
Yeah.
Pitch Perfect. You guys
Yeah.
seen that?
No.
I hadn't, but everyone talked about it, so I watched it a few weeks ago. Pretty hilarious.
Is it good?
Hey, let me tell you about a YouTube drummer you'd get along. That's an inside joke.
I don't get it. Oh wait,
You weren't here.
You weren't here.
Oh,
Yeah, you.
I thought you were talking about the Oceans. The guy playing Oceans.
No.
Can we do the famous person you want to meet now?
Okay, and then we were wrapping up. But he was
I'm not
making a
allowed to
point.
answer that question.
All right, who?
Christoph Waltz.
Great.
He's my favorite actor. He can do like 8 different languages.
Seth?
Michael Richards before his racist outbursts. The guy who played Kramer.
Michael Richards after his racist outburst.
He just seems like the kind of guy I'd like to hang out with.
No, famous guy I want to meet, Bill Simmons. The sports guy. The sports guy.
Wait. I want to pick one.
Okay, yeah. The second person you would pick.
Oh, we get to do a second one? Sweet.
No, just Larry.
Do they have to be alive still?
No, but you have to meet them in whatever state they're currently in.
You can talk to him though.
I met the ghost of Susan B. Anthony on a Tuesday. It was warm outside.
He wrote it all down in his memoir called The Shack. Go pick it up.
Leanna, I
All right,
love Cards
hold on,
Against Humanity.
I would pick George Clooney. That is, I'm really attracted to that celebrity.
More so.
All right, guys.
He's real awesome.
I know.
Bye, Zephyr.
It's a
See you
habit.
later.
Guys,
Have a wonderful evening.
Leanna, I love you, girl.
She is probably a 12-year-old girl.
That's okay.
She said she's a 6-year-old woman. So
Well, yeah, then it's perfectly legal then.
Well, how much money do you make a year?
I don't know what that means, and I'm always afraid to read it.
I'm gonna look it up.
Oh,
We're
it's a
gonna-
dangerous game you're playing. It's a dangerous game you're playing with Google.
Well, we're gonna bypass Google and go
Boss
straight to
FL,
Urban
we love
Dictionary.
You like how I googled Urban Dictionary to get to UrbanDictionary.com?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Look at the 10 words trending now.
What was it? I can't say it.
The act of nodding one's head at a friend or acquaintance instead